Yeah, she's calling back. We're going to try to give her a call again, and then she just added another phone number to the 13-year-old grandson who's possibly with the daughter. Step out with this.
2412.
Veteran crisis hotline's calling in, so they have a female veteran off her medication. She's at work to Safe Haven. You're checking 12, take a check that one out.
6 Rumble, 2 point start, take your shots.
Officer still stands for talk? No. Offender in custody? Temporary with the... Thanks. Anyone else close, wait to see what's up, let me know. Temporary, sir. 4747.
Ooh, what's up, everybody? What's up, Trey? Thanks for hopping in too, buddy. Let's see here. Let's get this up here. Get it going. Thank you all for hopping in. Appreciate you very much. I want to say, first of all, thank you all for your kind words, your support, whether it's throughout all of the social media or the comments in the comment section. I just want to say thank you so much for the kind words and the support. I mean, it's been coming out like crazy out the woodwork, and I just really want to say thank you very much. It's cool when you see your name, uh, and your character being uh, supported and promoted out there because there's enough people talking shit. And I got a new T-shirt, Trey, and it's called "I Get the Hate Because I Call Out the Hot Dog Steak." And you see a lot of hate out there, especially there's some ugly souls I kind of want to go over just for about 30 seconds. Um, so at first I wanted to say thank you for all the kind words and support out there because when you get this hate, it's nice to see the kind words, see who you truly are, being reminded out there and also promoted. It does mean a lot because when it comes to doing the work that we're doing, we definitely need the community support because without the community, we are nothing. Without you, I am nothing. Without the communities that I go to help, I am nothing. And so it's always a team effort. That's why I always shout out team. That's why I only stick and associate with certain individuals that are like minded because your mom always told you since you were young that you are who your friends are. And I take that very literally. And when it comes to the people that I associate myself with, whether it's through YouTube or out there in the field, um, it definitely does mean a lot. And that's why, uh, we protect the community the way that we do because any little bit of carbon dioxide, carbon dioxide can tear up an atmosphere with a bunch of beautiful oxygen. So let's keep the carbon dioxide to a minimum. If we got to stomp it out, we stomp it out. But it's all about protecting that ozone layer of the atmosphere that we created because without that ozone layer for that atmosphere, our atmosphere would cease to exist. So it's very important. That's why I get the boot out. When it comes to ugly souls, uh, when it comes to the taco and the FBI stuff, I want people to understand this because maybe they're just rookies when it comes to the game. Maybe they have a lot of people that support them. Not sure what's up with Trey. Maybe they have a lot of people supporting them. Maybe they have a lot of people bamboozled. But this is what you have to understand. Hold on one second. You good, buddy?
I'm gonna have to restart a bunch of stuff. I'm having like weird issues.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Yeah. When it comes to the taco and the FBI stuff, I'm just going to say one thing, and it's about being a human being. Okay. It has nothing to do with any of the stuff in the background. This has to do with as a human being. I'm glad that anybody can come to the show and feel comfortable enough, just like in the background, because there's plenty of people that come up to me in the background. CJ, like I said, I've turned over a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? People in the community come to me because they fucking trust me, because I ain't gonna say shit. I am about what I'm about. I am about getting shit done. I am about the right thing being done. And I am also about stepping up to the plate when other people ain't wanting to. You see what I'm saying? That's why we get the hate that we do. That's why people do shows about us and giggle and laugh and say, the pelt just don't fall off. No shit, mechanic. No shit, mechanic. Yeah, that's what we were saying. Hello. I mean, if people actually watch the whole episode, they even hear me talk about what a serpentine belt usually does when it's needing replaced. Yes. There's a lot of fake paralegals. There's a lot of fake mechanics out here on YouTube. But when it comes to the taco, this is a community thing, and this is very important. You guys, War Eagle, you can clip this shit too. You can clip this shit too. When somebody comes to you, I don't give a fuck who it is. When somebody comes to you and wants to reach out, and maybe they don't know the right thing to do, and if we steer those people in the right direction, make sure that we can do everything that we can do to make sure that they are protected, have justice, and are safe. This is from one human being to another. Listen, I'm going to help, and this is where you get the difference of souls here, from the soul here and the souls out there that want to talk shit. This is what you get here. You get help first. First, you get help because you're a human being. Then the questions come after that. Now, there's a lot of people that are covering the taco stuff without even listening to the whole conversation, and it's sad because they come off and they sound so uninformed to the audience, and you guys know better. The people that were there that night, the people that actually take the time to sit and listen to the conversation and everything, you'll already understand when you're listening to these other people talk on it, they're obviously not informed. And if you are informed and you did watch the whole thing and you came across wanting to make fun of people, then I would hate for somebody to reach out to you to give you information so that you could help justice take place. Because what you just displayed by making a mockery of the help that was extended to Taco and Mrs. Taco shows the true soul that you are, shows the community what you really do with your approach, also shows the community that you really don't do your digging. It's about help first because we're all human beings. And if you're sitting there listening to the stuff, we already went through the stuff that we went through. And then all of a sudden, something else is happening. You need to be, listen, when it comes to this true crime, when it comes to the dollar bill, you need to be about the other human first before your true crime channel, before your dollar bill, before your shits and giggles, before you want to sit there and promote my character and my intelligence in a completely different way to your communities without even really taking the time. Like I said, ugly souls. And I just wanted to address that. I think it's ridiculous. What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. I caught the very tail end of what you're saying. And I watched what chat was saying. A couple different one of those. I'm like,
They're not even a good YouTube mechanic. They were
it's sad because like we were in the middle of talking about what we're talking about, and that popped up on your end, and I was just like,
yeah, we had a whole show planned out.
Well, saying scripted. Like not necessarily on our end, but on Taco's end, trying to say it was scripted.
But this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it's scripted. You help another human being first, and then you start asking questions after that.
I think it was sincere, and I think they were. It was just.
Oh, you're cutting out, buddy.
Is it bad?
I don't know what you said.
Yeah.
Statistics or something?
No. I don't know what's wrong with my mic. Let me switch cord. Oh, man. I don't even know what's going on.
Just join from your phone if you're having issues. Just have like your phone up or something.
I think it's what.
I just said we need to be a human first before anything. Yes. Is it an outlandish story? Hello. You see it in our reactions. Is it something that's crazy? Yeah. Are we doing whatever we can to help if it is real? Of course we are. That's the difference between this community and that community. This community, you are comfortable enough to reach out if you need help. If it's fake as fuck, we can figure that all out. I would rather be wrong and have somebody have the help they need than be thinking it's fake and not get them help when it really was real. That's what I'm saying. When you're hearing these other people talk about it and make fun about it, to me, it doesn't make sense as a human being. Because would you rather get somebody help and find out it was fake? Or would you rather think it's fake and not get them the help, but they really did need the help? I mean, because that's the two areas you're coming from, bro. If you're going to sit there and make fun of people because, oh, these guys are so gullible. Obviously not, because we know what the fuck we're doing. But also, we're going to be a human being and try to help somebody, because I'd rather it be fake as shit and me know that I got the help that I could do for that person or that family than me go, oh, never mind. I'm not that gullible as some of these other people. And then all of a sudden they really did need help. And then next thing you know, out of the local newspaper, we're hearing articles about Mr. and Mrs. Taco. And you know what I'm saying? What the fuck it just doesn't make sense to me. I would rather be on the side where it is fake and I did everything I could to help somebody in case it wasn't. I don't understand people's souls out there, man. I really don't.
Is this any better?
Yeah. Just go ahead and keep going, and then we'll see if it cuts out or not. I think it's good so far.
I'm afraid to start talking.
No, go ahead, man. I'll let you.
All right. No, I'm not even remember where I was at because my computer's been.
Oh,
it was running great until I hit the thing, and then it's just gone. Like one computer froze, this one was on, and the mouse was stuck on the other computer.
No, No, I was just talking about people making fun of the taco stuff, and it's like I'd rather
Yeah, they
be
were trying to.
trying to get help and it be fake than think it's fake and they really needed the help. I mean,
Yeah.
what side do you want to be on as a human? That's
From
all.
what I gather, they were trying to discredit it, and then
Yeah,
basically, like, why I can't believe Trey, I can't believe CJ, I can't believe they're believing this. I'm like,
that's where we're coming from.
you got to take it as like face value, like the front of the cover. Someone's telling you something in the moment like that, when you do say, "Oh no, you're lying," and then like you said, you see the next day where are they at? It's like something happens. I would rather take someone's word at first and go with it as long as it's not going to put you or me in a legal or harm's way.
Right.
And if someone's reaching out, I think it's because they're actually worried or they want people to know just in case something does happen.
I got plenty of people reaching out to me in the background giving me information. You know what I mean? That they don't trust giving it to other people. I've even turned shit over to the FBI for people that didn't feel comfortable turning it over to the FBI. Like,
just being
that's what
voice.
people do. That's what people do. When they trust you and they know that they can come to you and tell you stuff. Do we see hot dog steaks? Yeah. And we expose them. That's why we get the hate. But at the same time,
it was weird, man, because some of those I was watching, it's like the chat was kind of controlling the creator or the person hosting it.
Yeah, they do.
And like letting it, I don't want to say controlling it, but they were just kind of like feeding their opinions. Yeah. And then,
like to make them
stumble through my words sometimes, and like I'll stop and I won't finish what I'm saying. I said the dude was probably in the car doing this, and I'm saying be in the lookout is what I was trying to say. And they're like, "Oh, the FBI wouldn't do that. Trey's an idiot." And like talking about tactics. I'm like, anyway, I was trying to help break it down, like my opinion of what happened. You were saying, concerned. Chat was concerned.
Well, you have to be. You have to be after everything that's happened that happened to us when we were out there. Then everything that happened with me and the K9 crew that day. And then he comes up and it's like, dude, there's so much weird shit going on. You have to like say, you know what? I'd rather find out it's fake than not help and find out it was real.
And people are saying, I don't believe any of the threats. Like, I won't say all the words I want to say, but a threat from an email, interpret it how you want to interpret it. I've gotten plenty of freaking emails of people saying some hateful shit.
Well,
the chats. You get trolls and stuff, but how do you separate a troll versus someone being serious? And like, how do you know, they're being serious in what they're saying? A threat is a threat. However you put it into words.
Well, I wouldn't even, I don't even pay no mind to it, honestly, because there's so many groups out there that have already had that happen. For the people to say that it doesn't exist, they're just not, go to cooking shows because you shouldn't be in true crime.
And then the shots and stuff. So, someone tried to say
it's not that hard.
Say that we were like, I don't know how to say it. I guess I can say it. Like shot at. Like saying making stuff up and all that. What was it? Oh, what was the key word? Traumatized? Is that the word? I can't think of the words they're using. It doesn't really matter, but anyway.
No, I just wanted to cover the thing about the taco stuff, and it's like, you know what? Just be a human. Find out it's fake later and get the help, then not get the help and find out it's real. Because then it's too late. You're right. I couldn't live with myself the rest of my life if I didn't take something seriously first and then figure out if it was fake or not. Then automatically like, oh no, that's fake, based off of the conversation that was taking place during the whole show. To me, you had to automatically think that it was real because, again, I couldn't live with myself the rest of my life if something did happen. That's why the people trust me with information, because they know I got their back first and I think about the other person before I think about myself.
Everything gets lost in translation.
No, but you're right, though. The chat was kind of feeding their, to make them seem like they were knowledgeable of the conversation.
It
You
started
know,
off humble. Like I feel like some of them started off in the right spot, and all of a sudden it was like, I'm like, damn, like that took off quick. Like basically everything you just said. Yeah, rather be safe than sorry. Exactly. Like if a kid comes to
as a
you,
human being, man.
if
As a
anyone
human.
comes to you and says, "Hey, yada 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 is happening," you don't just say, "Okay, bet," and discredit someone. So you can find that out later and be like, "Oh yeah, it was what it's whatever."
I'm not saying
Versus the other way around.
And I'm not saying either way. You know, we did what we did that night. The team took over after that, and you know, if I'm able to say anything, I'll say something other than that. I just wanted to basically say, look, you guys have to understand. This is why I put the video out a couple weeks ago about when it comes to the Sebastian Rogers case. You really need to look deep inside your soul, whether you're a host, someone on panel, or someone in the live chat. You need to look deep in your soul and look at who you really do support and why you support them. Because if it was any of your family members or even your son or daughter that was in that same position, is that where you would put your support when it comes to what's being put out there? Whether it's people that are making you think they know more than what they do, whether it's people making up stuff just because of a narrative, or whether it's people just basically um, making a mockery of any of these victims' cases. You really have to look deep inside your soul and really, if this was my loved one, whatever case it is, if this is my loved one, is this who I'd really be supporting? And you all really need to think about it, because right there, that shows you what kind of soul that person is when they can't even think about you would rather be safe than sorry. They make giggles out of it and jokes instead. That's the difference.
It's disheartening, man.
It is, man. As a society and the world, man, it's like we're supposed to be evolving, but it seems like more and more we're regressing. Like the majority is just regressing in thought process, bro. I just don't understand it.
I will
And
say a
this
lot
and
of
the
stuff is
soul.
backwards. Like we
Yeah.
have advances. I don't want to bring up like the 80s and the 90s, but I feel like we hit a certain area where we had advanced pretty well as far as communication and then just valuing human life, person to person, just that coffee cup conversation, like day to day. And then we're kind of like going the opposite direction. Not everywhere, not everyone is that way, but I feel like a lot of people have just never they have their cookie cutter. I don't want to put everyone in a bubble. I'm not trying to do that. But I think a lot of the people making some of the comments and just trying to discredit people or say like, oh, that can't happen. Or how can you believe that? Or people that have never had to look over their shoulder or have
Right.
anything negative happen. I don't say anything, but something bad or traumatic happen. Life is not, anyway, I won't say it exactly how I want to say it, but rainbows, leprechauns, and unicorns.
It's rainy and it's sunny.
Yeah, and it's YouTube, and I guess a lot of people are here for entertainment, literally, and that's kind of where I've come to think a lot of it is entertainment, and it's twisted because it's Sebastian Rogers, like them specifically, is missing. Yeah, he was 15 years old. He's a young man, but still a kid, regardless. I mean, you're talking about a soul, a life, family.
Like, what if it was your child?
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, you got to really think, people. Like, there's a lot of people that'll sit there and make up shit just to make it up because they don't want you to even see what it's like to be in the community, because they already know. Fuck, if they really do. I had so many messages the last couple days about people reaching out to me saying like, CJ, I thought you were just some hate channel. I thought that you were, one of the,
we cry a lot, something like that.
No, that's not what I got. But shoot.
Sorry.
They were the message was shit, man. I'm trying to think here. I'm sorry. I'm still tired.
Oh, I feel you.
But talking about, the stuff that's being said out there in the community, and they were like, you'll see some new people in the chat and they know who they are. And they're like, "Man, like I thought all these different things about you, and then I actually gave you 15 minutes and I sat back and I was like, wow, this is totally not what I was being told what this was." And instant sub for life, and and it's stuff like that where it's like, you see the people talking all this stuff, but you come to this show and it's just it's about life. It's about being a better human being every single day, because none of us are perfect, and every single day we can strive to become a better human being, because nobody is perfect, but we can try to get as close as we possibly can. And, we basically just, when there is a lot of hate out there, we just remind people of what life is about, what life should be about, the energy that we should be promoting and sending out there, and also what we're here trying to do, because we're not here to listen to an episode of Sally, Jesse, Raphael like those other shows. We're here to actually listen to uh, thought-provoking conversation, theories, opinions, trying to make things make sense that don't make sense out in this world, because there's too much of it already. And we're just here to try and help. We have a certain mind for it. We have a certain drive for it. We have a certain skill for it. And it's what we do best. And it's something that it's, you don't just grow up thinking, I want to do this for my life, right?
No. It
No.
evolves.
Right. It evolves, and all of the different experiences that we've had, whether it's through childhood or adulthood, that led us to this path, that led us to know what we're doing is something that we really truly want to do the rest of our lives, just to try and help other people, whether it's in a studio or out there in the field. It makes a huge difference. And that's all we're trying to do. And, that's why, you'll never hear any kind of responses or anything like that, because you know what? These victims already have lost time already. And we need to make up that time. And the more time that we spend on responding to any of that is the less time that these victims will get. And they're already missing out on time. And we have to work double time. That's why we give 150%, because if we don't, we might not make it. And that's not why we're doing what we're doing. We're doing what we're doing to make it, or any kind of success whatsoever, any kind of answers, because our souls are in a position where we feel the pain of others, even though we can't feel exactly what they're feeling. We feel pretty damn close because we hurt. That's why we get the love, or that's why we can give the love that we give. It's because we can put ourselves in those situations.
I got a question for you, because you're on this subject. I've been thinking about it like the past month probably. So when I was young, used to be able to go to calls, whatever the call for service was, do that, and then just I don't want to say disassociate, but totally separate yourself from that experience, whether it was positive, negative, traumatic, whether it was a missing person or anything like that. And I could turn it off, I guess. But here, like this past month, I felt like I'm doing my homework, looking at different variables, what possibly could have happened, looking at different areas, whether that's terrain, houses, cameras, the weather that day. And now it's all just kind of just together. Like it's with me 24/7, no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing. And I don't want to say turn it off, But like my kid loves Spider-Man, my youngest one. So and then we got stickers and stuff. Every time that I see Spider-Man, like Sebastian is just there every time, no matter what. The colors red and blue. Like I've used the one photo a lot of Sebastian. So now I associate Spider-Man with Sebastian and the colors red and blue with Sebastian, and he is everywhere. And I've never, out of all the cases that I've worked and put together, I always try to never look for missing kids, and I think this is why. Dude, I can't imagine being a parent of a missing child. I just can't, man. But it has weighed on me more than any other case. Like, I've done a lot of recoveries, and I seldomly will think about it just as a reflection. And it doesn't really bother me that much. But just knowing he's out there somewhere, whether, he is or isn't here, but just not knowing, I just can't imagine, man.
Dude, that's why I'm saying, that's why this case hits me so hard, because ever since I got full custody of my daughter when she was 10 years old, we dealt with kidnapping threats. I lived on a daily basis. I even had to alter my job and career because those hours fit in time with me to be able to drop her off and pick her up from school, because at any moment she could have been taken. And we even had restraining orders on the mom. The mom would literally call the schools and even threaten the schools that she was going to kidnap my daughter, dude.
It's just constant.
Dude, I every day that until she was 18 years old.
So you had to live your life on edge.
Dude, every day I had to carry a suitcase full of court documents in case anything happened at any moment, at any time, dude. And that was for 8 years. I had to live that way.
It's exhausting.
Restraining orders over and over and over and over, and constantly just having to live in the fear that if I wasn't next to her, so when this happened, oh, dude, this hit me here right now, just talking about it, thinking about it, because I can't imagine. I can't imagine if that 1 minute out of the day, all of a sudden, she was gone. It's constant, man. With any of these cases. But that's why we're in the position that we're in, because we can not only relate, but we can handle it too. Because it is.
Oh, you got to be able to mentally.
It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, mental and physical, and you got to be able to take it all in and then channel that energy out in the most positive way that you can. I think that's like I think that's why
keep your emotions in check too.
Yep.
Because if you can't do that, you're already a liability out there doing what we're doing. You have to be able to go through some of the most crazy shit, and even if you don't go through it personally, you have to go through it in your mind to prepare yourself, so that way when you possibly might get into that position, you again aren't basing anything off of emotion, because then you become a liability again. And when you can relate to these things, not exactly because we haven't been in those positions, but when you can almost be there, and then you also have to make sure that you have your awareness in check at all moments, at any time. It's very tough. But at the same time, I credit it, because that's how we deal with these trolls too, You
gotta be the better person now.
We just don't pay no mind to it, and we just keep trucking with the work that we're doing, and we just remind people about what it is to be a human being. Because you know what, I would rather if this was my last day, I'd rather be here sitting here telling everybody how, sharing and community and about being a better person, instead of me talking shit on somebody and looking like a fool. based off of a lack of information. You know,
It's just weird how it's supposed to be about the missing and victims. And I guess I'm just breaking my rules here, and it's everything kind of sometimes but that. Like as far as what people are covering, and I know we're not covering, like based off of what our conversation now, but it's supposed to be for the families and the victims and the missing, and a lot of it is just tangents and rants and stuff like that, or like he said, she said, or like, hey, look what's going on over here, and it's like let's just try to stick to I don't want to say the facts, but just stick to the person that we're supposed to be talking about. Like, who cares about Sally and Timmy? You know what I mean?
Right. This is what they should be on.
Exactly. Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, you just have to.
This is what it's all about, because I mean, yes, every person matters, but what matters here is Sebastian Rogers. So when you fire the camera up and we fire up the mics, or we're out searching, yeah, we're gonna say some stuff. I don't want to say disassociate again, but just to kind of ease the moment and ease the search, just like let it out. But it's all for Sebastian Rogers, and that's it.
Yeah, people just need to slow the roll and actually have compassion.
There we go, Busby. Compassion
for another human being. That's what it's about, because that's the only way we can succeed. What do you think? Do you think if I went in to all these management jobs and I just started making fun of all my workers and shit, you think I'd be successful?
Oh, dude, they would
No. You got to learn who they are. You have to learn to appreciate them. Each one has different quirks and personalities and all these different things. You need to actually care about people. That's why I was so successful. Yes, I'm about business. I get shit fucking done. And I am a hard ass about shit, but you know what? I really care. And if I push myself to a certain level to try and be the best that I can be. And I'm not talking when it comes to materialistic things, just as a person. I do come across as brash or, no time, but no, really, it's about getting shit done. And we have parties, we have fun. It is a beautiful vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's there, but at the same time, it's like we have to get shit done because this isn't about us.
No, it's not about us, but our biggest thing is, like with me anyway, just positive whenever you're going through the muck.
Mm-hmm.
So like I may not seem sad but that's about trying to keep your mindset clear so you can think about what the goal is, how you're searching, how you're conducting yourself. And like you said, the game plan and preparing for if and when someone, God forbid you come across a person that is no longer here.
Any victims, because we may come across people that we're not even looking for. Yeah.
That's happened in the past. People be looking for someone else and you stumble across something that was recent or a long time ago. So mindset is, one of the biggest things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's always constant, the thought, even having dreams, man. I'm sure you have dreams of like you were talking about like a pond or a lake or something. We all we have dreams. Even it consumes the mind so much, all these cases, that you even have dreams about it. And then you wake up the next morning. I'm sure there's been plenty of mornings where you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense right now.
It was weird, buddy, because I have this, I'm going to call it a dream, but I have a specific dream every night, no matter what, over and over again. Kind of varies. But when I woke up and I didn't have that dream or nightmare, whatever you want to call it, and I had the dream about the playground, the walkways, and like it wasn't a stream, but it wasn't a ditch, and there's like a walkway around it with fencing, and then structure. It looked like in my dream, big structure, but I think it was just buildings, and then like a corner way out. So when I woke up, I'm like, I drew like 5 sketches trying to point what was the bet, just so I would remember. So it does consume you.
Yeah, it's like with any of these cases, if anybody's been here through the show, when it comes to my intuition on stuff, like my mind is so busy. That's why this suits me, because really, if my mind wasn't this busy with all of the information and all the work, dude, I'd probably lose my shit. I have to be that person that has 15 different things going on at the same time. That's where I feel like I'm really, succeeding in anything, whether it's a better person or trying to find somebody or getting a project done or any of these things.
Mine's a little bit different than yours, but yeah, it boils down to the same. I'm great as long as I'm busy.
Yeah.
Because then you can actually like channel all that and stay focused.
There's just not enough time to, I mean, I know, and I'm not knocking people sitting on the couch eating Cheetos, watching TV. You know what I mean? You're doing your thing. You're doing what makes you happy.
Dude, can you sit through a movie or anything like that?
Yeah, I can sit through a movie.
I struggle.
I have to have like somebody force me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people ask me, what do you do for fun? It's like hard to break that down. I'm like, it's a rabbit hole because I don't watch TV really. I might watch a clip of News Nation, like if I know someone's going to be on there.
Yeah.
But I'll Google the weather specifically because I don't have time to watch someone talk for 45 minutes. Like I just can't do it. I have too many other things I got to do. So I can do this because the interaction, information, but to sit there and watch, you'll get like maybe 30 seconds out of me, and that's it.
Well, if I'm by myself, I'll watch like 10 minutes and go, man, I got to do this. I got work to do.
Yep.
And then I'll start doing my work, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to listen to it in the background. And then no, I
don't even listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's but that's why we're here though, man, to do that. Did you see the video that I put out about the pond there, man? What it looks like now?
No, because we went over drains and manholes, so I did not see it.
Let me see here.
I don't even get notifications when you drop a video or go live.
Oh, for real?
And I have your bells turned on just like I do like others. Like I'll have to look. And I'm like, oh, CJ's live, or CJ posted a video, or there's a premiere. Like I never get a notification. Like I'll get one for Busby if he drops one.
Uh-huh.
It's weird. Oh wow.
Oh, wait till I walk down in there.
Dude, we were
I know, dude. That's why I'm saying when we were there last, remember when we met up and I said, dude, it's like right before we got there, they like leveled it out and smoothed it out and made it look all nice. Yeah, dude, just wait. Just wait. Contribution call out real quick. I do want to say thank you, Ashes to Ashes 2.0. What if we got to do another game night here soon? That was fun. Your heart, soul, and mind are all so beautiful, CJ. Much love. Hashtag Sebastian Strong. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat and the support. It means everything. And it allows us to be able to go out and do these things. Not only document, time, but also be able to help make a difference too. I don't know, dude. I'm sure you were worn out after the search. That I don't know. For some reason though, it didn't seem like we pushed as hard as the other one because of the terrain. Probably it wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't
up and down as much as the others. But man, I felt like that one was. I felt more worn out from that one than I did the other one.
I don't
man.
know how I made it through work.
Yeah?
I'm still recovering from everything else, and talking about body aches, breathing, and all that. But I know why I'm tired. Like before we even went out there. But yeah, it should have been a walk in the park, like literally walk in the park. That terrain. But yeah, I was still tired, sore. Like I was like, I never take like anything for inflammation. But the combination of everything has been going on with me. I've been taking stuff for inflammation. The other was, I don't want to say it was easy, but hiking up the hill and going zigzagging back and forth, going through the brush and everything it felt like less exhausting.
Did cover a lot of ground though. We basically cleared that whole. I even went up next to the highway while you were in some of the drains down there. I even went up next to the highway too until it got to private property. So we covered that whole freaking area, dude. Basically cleared it out. So that's one huge area that got cleared out. Guidance says unsub and resub, and it's supposed to fix that, I guess. So if anybody is having that issue, maybe try that.
I can do that
and see. I know my playlist. I just got my playlist back, but they're still acting kind of weird. So hopefully everything that I have saved for it looks like everything's in order. But once I click one video, who knows what's gonna happen. But check this out. Yeah, let me shrink us down a little bit, dude. It's so crazy.
How does that even drain out now?
Oh, dude, it's okay. So it's coming out. So the water's coming out from the area that's closest to us.
I get it. They want it to hold water as an actual retention pond, I guess, and then whenever it hits a certain level, it'll go out.
Yeah, check
that makes
this
sense.
out. Yeah, it's crazy the difference here.
I'd almost say that's how they kind of want it, or they got it how to drain where they want it, and then they have the low spot. Okay, I see it. That makes more sense.
Yeah, and then that goes down to the other pond, the small one, before it then goes into the cemetery that goes to the other bigger one. So it all kind of flows downhill to each different pond. There's another pond before that too. I think 1, 2, like 4, 2 large, 2 small. I think
I know there's
3 large, 1 small.
There's 2 or 3 other retention. I guess you could call it a retention pond that go into
that
this
area. Yeah, in that area. But it's all going down. But see, now what's crazy is from that storm. Okay, so when we looked not this one, I'll play it here a little bit, and I'll bring the camera in there. It cleared out a lot of the mud, bro, and that's a good sign. That's a good
actually
sign.
Pushed it all through.
Yeah, I think that's why there's such a huge mound of mud right there, because what happened is all of that rain from the hurricane came in. Remember when we left and we went through that rainstorm, dude? That shit was wild, bro. I don't know if you pulled over underneath an interstate, but I was about to. It was wild, man. You couldn't see nothing.
People were locking them up in front of me.
Yeah. So I think what happened is it actually washed out all of the mud that was stuck in there, because when we were there last time, when we looked inside, they had only scraped out about 3 feet inside that pipe, and then you saw the mud that was where it should have been if they didn't scrape out that little bit to make it look like it was cleaned out. I think somebody just didn't want to do what they were supposed to. But then again, what are you supposed to do? Put a garden hose down there? No, you can't.
No.
But with this rain, that's where all this mud came from. Is all that mud that was kind of stuck in those pipes right there got pushed out from all that water coming through that pipe. So it pretty much drained now to the other pond. But see, now this right here, all this was mud, but look at the mud that is left over from here. Look at how like it's a couple feet high, man. And then and then there's still mud that gets spread out because there's another drain up to the right of where we're at too. So there was mud coming from both, but especially from that pipe to our right. And that's how low it was before. Remember when it was all smoothed out and everything? So see where it's at right there, you guys? Now imagine that being the footage that we showed you the week before, and now look at all this mud that is on top of that. There was a tremendous amount of mud in these pipes, and it's all right here.
It's crazy how much muck and dirt will hide stuff, especially when it's soft.
And it's thick too, man. It's that quicksand mud. It'll pull your cowboy boot off.
Yeah, one step would be firm, and then the next step you're down to your knee.
This is what's crazy, dude, is there was brick. Okay, so you know how it had the cement squares that were in front of the drain? Everything was cleared out, right? Now you can see the mud there. But, dude, there was bricks inside the mud. Watch. There's actual bricks there. Looks a lot. Look at that mud. See how low it was and all that mud that came from them pipes? That's a lot of mud, man. That's a lot of mud. Not different from the last time that we were here. It was all smoothed out. Look at how fucking much mud got chunked in there, man. And then smoothed out from the rain, too. That's a lot of mud, man.
So it's all coming from the very top.
Both of the pipes, the one under Instagram and the one right that I'm standing on. All that mud coming in from them pipes. It's almost because it was like the manhole stuff.
Those were full.
Dude, the manhole stuff, all that, and then all of a sudden this huge rain just comes in and clears out these pipes, dude. Isn't it crazy?
This will probably keep changing it, probably drastically until they get done with construction.
I think a lot of the mud came from a lot of the initial construction that they were doing, but it's pretty smoothed out now. I'm going to show my camera because I did some drive-bys of this too. I'm going to show that. That's pretty much, I think all of the mud that was in those pipes is basically gone, and I think that they can be searched properly. Is what I'm saying, because before I feel like, like I was saying, there's so much mud. When we looked, it was full. They just did a shortcut. It had to be full of mud. I was talking about mud holding a scent. The mud being in the grate, 75% of the covers weren't there when we went there April 6th and 7th. And then about how much, you can't just drive your remote controlled monster truck through the tunnels. You need it. You need.
Yeah, because we had looked before and it was full, like almost halfway full.
yeah, you can't get through it. But this is the beautiful thing about all this rain. And I'm sorry, like all the damage from the hurricane, prayers to all you. And in this region, what that rain did is it cleared out all these pipes. And I feel like now, if they are going to be able to get searched, they can be searched properly because I think a lot of that mud is pretty much gone. And now with them leveling out the construction area since all of the mud got in those pipes, that's when I feel like you don't have to worry about mud getting in them very much anymore because the roads are paved.
Already, I
You
got
know,
you.
and
Yeah, and they did
so
the
these I feel like at any moment now they could be properly searched.
yeah, and they got lots of access points as far as the
Yeah,
manholes, so they could
a
use their
lot of them.
tether, run it through, and then
Yeah.
because I know with those they can map it or whatever, so they know exactly where it was at, which I'm sure they have them. You have the layout, so you can see how far they actually went through just to clear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy mud. And then look, there's like bricks in there too. You'll see it when I go
I
close
seen
up.
I seen like the one, like it's not a landscaping brick, but
Yeah, it's like the brick with 3 holes in it. Right there, I just walk up on it. Watch. See the bricks laying there in the bottom right?
yeah, those weren't there before. It was the other, the concrete.
Yeah.
So
Now
there's a lot of rain.
there's like red bricks. There was red bricks in them pipes too, man.
Yeah, you get enough flow, so don't tell them how far they traveled.
You can see right in the bottom right of the video. You can see those bricks with the 3 holes in them. The cement things coming out that match the cement wall, those were there.
Yeah, those were.
All of those red bricks, and they don't look very red on the camera, but they're red bricks. They're like red house bricks or something for like a chimney. The 3 holes in them.
You pushed a bunch of gravel through.
Dude, there had to be a lot of stuff in them pipes, dude. Mud, supplies. I mean, who knows, dude? You got building bricks coming out. So here's the inside. See?
Oh, dude, that looks totally clear.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Last
Yeah,
time the
man.
mud was like,
Uh-huh.
if this is the pipe, my camera's the pipe. It was like up to like that.
Yeah, dude. That's why once I looked in there, first I seen all that and I was like, holy crap, like this used to be smooth, but I didn't. And then it looked like part of it sank down like a sinkhole or something, right? But then when I went and looked in here, I was like, oh, hell no, this is all mud that came out onto the level, smoothed out part that they did. And that's when I looked at it differently. And I'm like, oh, gosh, no, it was deeper. All of that came out of them 2 pipes was a lot of mud because really just if you go halfway on our screen, if you go halfway, which would be about 3 feet or so, that's where you could see they literally like took some kind of cement tool and scraped the mud. So that way when you were standing back from it, it looked like it was cleared out, but really it wasn't. In the mud, see the lines on the left and the right, like 3/4 of the way up, the dark lines at the very top on each side? That's how thick the mud was in there. Like you wouldn't even be able to like if you had your head in there and it was touching the very top of that pipe, you might have had half of your nose covered up. You wouldn't have been able to you wouldn't have been able to breathe through your nostril. That's how much mud was in there. But now it's cleared out. Yeah, and then just some rocks in the bottom, kind of like what we walked through underneath that bridge. So that's the inside. See how you can see the other end of that thing? remote control little monster. No, you can't. No, you'll lose your signal. This is. I'll show you guys what you use. Uh, what's it called? It's called a. It's called a drone sewer.
Something.
It's a drone sewer. It's a sewer drone, basically. It's equipped for going up and around. Just your
The
typical
different elbows and
monster.
bins.
Yeah, your monster truck's not going to do it. In attaching some kind of yarn string to it isn't going to do it either. You actually, well, because you'll lose your connection. It's cement. I mean, dude, when we were walking underneath the bridge, we had open on from the front to the end, and we were losing our damn cell connection. You know, like when
Yeah,
you're underground, and you got ground and then cement around it, you can't just, you have to have a tethered yeah, a tethered device. You can't just
It probably worked for a little bit until it didn't, and you ain't getting it back because it would
that
go
yeah,
and then just you'd be like, "Uh-oh."
yeah, then you got to pull the string. No, you want we'll show it here in a minute. I'm going to finish up with this footage here real quick, but I'll show you what we played it in another show before. It's a specific drone. So see those bricks, dude?
Yeah,
Those weren't there. It washed all of that stuff out, dude. And I bet you a lot of that stuff that maybe we might think is rock is actually crunched up. And this is what I'm afraid of. I bet you a lot of that stuff was crunched up bricks. And look at it now. Because it's banging against cement and rock, going through, the mud is a rough surface as well. All of these rough surfaces hitting each other and it basically disintegrating itself down to a bunch of chip looking rocks instead of building supplies that were underneath there. And it makes me worried. What could that do to somebody that might have been under there for a very extended period of time with moisture?
Yeah, a lot of friction.
Because all that right there, when I'm looking at those bricks, that is telling, and when we're walking, when you're like looking at them, I'm going to zoom back in here in a second. When you're looking at them, it makes you wonder, what can that do to even bone? Okay. Let me take a screenshot here real quick and we'll zoom in. And I'm going to take a look at these because it does look like it is, when you're looking at the bricks and you're looking at all the little pieces, it looks like it was a lot of building supplies, or possibly could have been a lot of building supplies that really just broke itself down to little chips. Let me see. Let me just get a screenshot here real quick. This is at 229. Let's see, 229. Okay, so let's take a screenshot. Okay, now let me pull up the photo.
Is that a rope?
I don't know. I'm going to zoom in on it, dude. We're going to take a look here real quick. I don't know what it is. All right, here we go. An electrical cord.
That's what I thought at first, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, it's an electric, like a cord for, dude, I'm telling you, look at all these.
Yeah, those are. We got some red brick that's broke right there to your left. Yeah, over to the corner right there.
Look at that. All these are like little chips. Little chips. So these were here.
Yeah, those were there from get go.
This was all cleaned out. It was nice. This right here looked just like this right here. You can see it on the previous video. But dude, you even got electrical cord. That's, I don't know what the hell it's doing going up there. But yeah, when I was walking on it, it had like a crunch to it. It wasn't like you know how like when we went through some of those creeks, they had the stone that looked like this and it was real soft, you know? No, this was like you're walking on potato chips is what it sounded like.
Was it blacktop?
No, this
like broken.
Like if basically when I walked on this, it sounded like I was walking on potato chips on the ground. It crunched that much. So it's a bunch of pieces that weren't. It's not like a smooth rock of the creeks that we walked into, because those were smoothed out over a long period of time, right? So if they did, it's more like a clunk when those two hit. These right here, something that took place relatively quickly, and so it's more like a crunch, because there's the surface is more chipped away or broken apart instead of soft, and that's what it sounded like I was walking on chips. But yeah, that's what so when we're looking down the drain, it's like I think it all got cleared out basically from all that rain that came through. What's up, Taco? What's up, Mama K? What's up, everybody? Thank you for hopping in. The driveways, chilled shell sound and feel here. Can a dog go out there and search again? I'm not sure what's going on with that as of the moment. When it comes to that, so not sure about that, but I'm sure at some point. Now, they did say that they had searched it in the very beginning and that they put a drone down there. So, what's up, Peyton? So, you know, to the extent, you know, who knows? No, I've heard different things. I've heard people from there have said that they really didn't go down in there too far. It was more of a go down in there real quick, you know, hello, and then move on to the next
peak, and then
because I mean, and you can't at the same time, you can't fault, because you're thinking that he took off, you know, walking through the house, you know, in the yards or in the woods, you know, so you're gonna check down there, but you're trying to like cover as much ground as you possibly can. So you hear different things, you know, obviously, so it's hard to really say one way or the other, you know. But yeah, it can definitely be a possibility. But the beautiful thing about this is that these drains, as far as, and I don't think I'm going to take you on a little drive around. You can see the development and everything that's taken place now since all that mud and building supplies fell down in there, or maybe were disposed of, who knows, fell down in there, whatever. I feel like these pipes are good to go, because I feel like any of those drone, those sewer drones will be able to navigate any of this no problem. You know, whereas before they probably would have ran into some clogged pipes and wouldn't have been able to advance any farther, because what are you going to do with that kind of thick mud? There's nothing you can do, you know. So I think it's a blessing that all that water that came through the area actually cleared out all these drainage pipes, because now if they are able to be searched again, and the future holds that. If they are able to be searched again, well, I feel like they'll be able to have an effective search with those pipes that are down there, because of how all of that stuff got cleared out and basically came out into this pond here and added another 1 to 5 feet of mud. 1 to 5 feet of mud. I would say half of it is probably 4 to 5 feet, and the other part is a couple feet. See all that mud that just washed up, and then you got that huge drop off right there. That's a lot of mud that was in those pipes, dude. And the other one coming from to the right as well. I'm gonna give you another look at this. Just look at the difference. See how about half of it has the most mud coming from the two, and then the other one where the water's draining into the other pipe that goes down to the other pond. Then it starts to like dip a little bit. But look at the difference, man. And that's half of that pond, dude. That's at maximum of that mud. I can't even dude, that's way more mud than I bet you all them pipes through this whole construction area were clogged.
They were bad. They were bad. Like worse than the first time that we were there.
To have that much mud, dude. That's why when I got there and I'm like, look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. Just because at first I was like, oh, it had it fell through. But then after I went and looked in there, and then I'm seeing all the mud. Oh no, that mud just, oh my gosh, where it's dipped down right here. That's where it was, because in the last footage, where it was smoothed out was way underneath that part that's sticking out in front of that cement block. Like it was all smoothed out down to there. There's a lot of mud on both sides of this area. So that there can be an effective search now in those pipes. Let me see. This is the drive around. I'm going to do, let me see. I'm going to do the front view first. So that is going to be, let's see, 122911. So this is the front view. Let me hit mute. This is the front view as we're going in to the construction area. If you are a member, I dropped the front and side view going through the neighborhood as an update of October 1st. So we're about to go up there. I basically started just like I do with the other videos. I start the front and the side view at the same exact time. So basically you could have 2 YouTube videos up and see it as like you're sitting in the vehicle. Thank you, Kathy. So this, and I'll give you the side view here in a second. So this is the front view. Nothing too much has really changed, in the last week. I did see more people out there kind of talking at the different lots that are just kind of, dirt right now and stuff. Other than that, there's nothing here on the road or around it is anything different. Just to give you this kind of view here.
All that's surveyed. I wonder how many they've sold.
I think that's what they're doing right now, because and I have other ones I didn't publish at all. I think it seems like the people are purchasing the lots, and then they start
the zone,
yeah,
and everything planned, and
yeah, instead of, which in this economy, it's probably better to make sure people buy the lot first before you start, instead of building houses and then hoping people
buy the entire thing.
Right.
It's definitely going to change the way searches are and stuff. There's so much the terrain has been changed.
But it's pretty developed now. You know what I mean? They got the things up for each individual property. You can see them sticking up the real tall tube pipe things, the dark colors. Those are basically indicating each residence or lot. So I think a lot of the mud with these roads, especially with these roads being built now, I really feel like a lot of that mud is like the mud in those pipes is really, not to say that they're not gonna have mud in them ever again, but they're not going to be clogged up like they were before the hurricane came through the Nashville area. So yeah, they were talking to somebody else about another lot there. Sorry about that, Dot. A rock hit my windshield.
Oh wow! I was wondering. I thought it was a floater.
No, a rock hit the windshield on my way up there and chipped it. So, yeah. No, I'll have to figure out a different position to put it. That's okay.
Is it chipped like?
Oh, dude, that's why I've changed positions for my cameras. Because, dude, I probably have like 8 chips on my windshield just from all the miles, you know. And all right, so this one is the side view. This is, let me see, 010983. Let me hit mute on this. So this is the side view going in, and this will give you another perspective of kind of what the layout looks like now. Super glue time. Oh, is that how you do it? What, super glue and then a razor? Scraping it off or what? Because I have a really good spot for my cameras right now, so I'd like to keep it that way, but that chip in the windshield. So there's the side view. Yeah, man. There's so much mud that, because remember, see where that little part that's going around the side?
Yeah.
There was like 2 layers of that, dude. There was like 2 layers of that.
Yeah, because I was thinking the top was taller or something, but
That's how much that
the grass they had. I can't think what it's called, but there was more showing. A lot more showing.
That's how much that mud water came up. That thing had to be. I wish I could have got a picture after that storm came through. I bet that thing was full, man.
At least it works, I guess.
Yeah, Mama K, like a bird flying at your windshield too.
The way they have these property lines sloped and graded is,
yeah,
like it's just like, like most subdivisions like this. I don't know. It might change once they build houses, I guess, with the foundations, but most of them it's just a grade.
Yeah,
that way the water
a slope.
Yeah,
it's not like a step.
I mean, it's really gonna flow. Like once it hits that,
yeah, it's just gonna gain speed the more, you know. Or maybe it's designed that way to slow the speed. I bet that's what it is.
Maybe a new standard. Because like our house back in the 80s, it was graded real slow, and then the one house in the very end, the water would just sit, and it never went anywhere.
I bet it is. I bet it's a new way to, so it's not a constant slide. It's more of a step process to kind of slow down the path. There's another view. Yeah, man, that thing got so full. But that's a good sign, though. It means them pipes are cleared out. It means they could be the whole system down there instead of them running into here. Let me
Spots
pause
where they
it.
can't push through.
Yeah, they So here's the I don't know what's in the probably water. I would imagine. I don't know. I doubt it's fuel. I mean, would that be fuel? I hope not. Shit,
It
dude.
should be.
That'd be like
Should
a
be.
big
It should be diesel fuel for the
tractors and the
for the equipment. That way they got it on site instead of having to use the I can't think of what it's called. It's not a buggy.
or truck.
Yeah, so I have to have a can't think what it's called, but the fuel in the back of a truck. You just got it on site.
Oh my gosh. I would have an issue. For the heavy. I would have an issue if I was the dude that lived next to this fucking pond.
I'd be filling my truck up.
I would be. No, I'd be like, you need to put that thing in the back fucking corner, man, because I'm not about to have one of you have an accident and all of a sudden half my fucking house is gone, bro.
Oh, dude, you just opened the thing up. Oh my, that's open, and it's on the ground. I'm pretty sure that's illegal now. You gotta have a.
See what I'm saying? Like I'm thinking of the homeowner.
I was thinking of OSHA class. When you said that, they're supposed to have doesn't have to be a complete barrier, but yeah, so it doesn't get smashed because accidents like that do happen. I was thinking of a bulldozer pulling up to that. It's supposed to be kind of contained. You can't just have the tank. Oh man. Yeah. They teach. I forgot if it was the 10 or 20 or 30-hour class, but they teach stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I would hate to be eating my fucking
Ba-boom.
My homemade vegetable soup and crackers, and all of a sudden half my damn house is gone and half my hair's gone too.
That's not good.
And who knows half of what else?
There's videos of tanks sitting out like that, and dude's on the backhoe and he's backing up or drives and then hits it, and bad things happening. So people try
make mistakes.
Yeah, this is an accident, but
hey, put it in the back corner. There ain't nothing back there but a bunch of woods. All right, if something happens, you can contain it. It doesn't hurt nobody. Yeah. Man, yeah, I would be like, yo, man, you gotta move that thing. You gotta.
It says there's the phone number and it's fuel.
There you go.
You got the placard on there, but
there you go. Oh, I have hair. Shit, I just shaved my head. I'm serious. I'd hate to be eating supper or something and all of a sudden, what? No. That is too close. With that kind of, think about it. That's a lot of fuel, y'all. That's a lot of fuel. That's a big boom. Think of an aerosol can in a bonfire and then think of that damn thing. Come on, it's a huge difference.
It should be vented.
I don't know. I'm just accidents happen.
It's still gonna go boom.
My house is too damn close, yo. So, yeah, we're not doing that.
And then you got the retention pond on the other side where the playground is. And then across from that, towards the backside, you get the other one.
Ugh. Like even that house right there. Like I'm turning to my left, where I turn is where that tank is, okay? That's how close this house is, and the other one by the pond to this damn thing. That's not very far. That's not very far. That's a huge one. A kaboom. All right. Did you hear? I don't know if this is a joke or not, but
now what?
I couldn't put it past him to be serious about it. And I'm sure he is serious about it.
I've seen that. I seen it as soon as he posted it.
I'm sure he is serious about it.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wait a minute.
Oh, about buying or renting a home
I could have
in the
swore there was like
neighborhood?
a shorter post or something. Or I probably just read what I wanted to. In my brain, it said, I'm buying a house in Hendersonville. In my brain, I've read what I wanted to read. I didn't read the part where it says if any neighbors are willing to rent out their homes, give us a shout.
Yeah.
Dude, there's always people renting houses somewhere. I guarantee you there's one for rent.
In that neighborhood.
Howdy, neighbor. Sorry, I had to say it.
Even if it's for a week.
Have a cup of coffee.
Even if it's for a week.
Step outside.
Have your bacon and eggs, your coffee.
Have 100 cameras put up on the outside of your house. Ain't nothing nobody can do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, who knows? Even rent it for a week.
Oh, I would live stream it.
Give it a shout.
Every camera angle. Oh man.
And then right here, and here's this post on Twitter. Here's the link for this.
When was that one?
What, this one?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think, or when was this? Let me see. Oh, this was today. Today marks our 30th debriefing regarding the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, and for once in my life, I am witnessing the marvelous teamwork in unity plow through the mud, cockroaches, and skunks. This team is making headway, and I'm honored, proud, and humbled to be a part of it. You could threaten me all you want. It's been done before, and it'll be done again. But with me will go the house of cards. We will find you. And he couldn't have put it any better. And it is, man.
Wait a minute, what's the?
It's a good team. It's a good team.
What was the part about? Where's that? Oh, okay. It says I will add an additional 25,000 for information leading to Sebastian or evidence of his whereabouts. Okay.
No, I'm reading this one right here.
Yeah,
I don't know. This is September 2nd that
Okay.
he put that one. No, about the teamwork and plowing through the mud, cockroaches, skunks. About the team.
Mud, cockroaches, and skunks.
Mm-hmm. Now, I was kind of wondering, when it comes to some of the different, when it comes to like this whole predator thing. Now, there's, I've showed how there's people that are even using, people used to think Minecraft and Roblox was safe. I've even showed a teacher that used Roblox to groom a child. It makes you wonder, because as much as people think, and this is just, I want people to think of this as maybe this could, what if this is something that could have been possible? Maybe the people that some people feel had something to do with it maybe really didn't. And who says it wasn't possibly a teacher?
There's a million. Yeah. You don't know.
Just in Nashville, a former teacher aide just got arrested today. In Nashville.
We're not taking shots out on teachers and all that stuff, but I 100% see what you're saying. As that happens a lot.
There's a lot. I mean,
grooming.
That's
or
why I
however you wanna call
showed. Yeah, it was probably. It was probably a month and a half ago when I started showing how teachers were now, or even individuals are now using those kind of video games, because everybody thought that Roblox and Minecraft was safe, and now all of a sudden there's even teachers doing that shit. You, um, and then when this story came across about a former teacher aide, um, it's like, what the hell? And then Nashville, then it makes you sit and wonder, well, we've heard of stories about teachers being in, I mean, hello, how many of them? There's so many stories out there of teachers being predators too. I'm not saying the ones that work there are, but I'm saying you have to think of it as a possibility. What if a teacher worked there and left after all this happened? What if Sebastian, where did some of the CPS, a teacher was told about something and CPS was called? It just makes me wonder, maybe it could have been, as much as it could have been somebody that was playing video games as a predator that was playing video games, the whole abduction and grooming. Who says it wasn't another profession that could have been grooming and abduction? Hey, you're reaching out to me. How about I don't want to get in trouble though. Okay, well, I'll keep your secret.
Be our secret. Happens more than what people realize, and the things come out 30 years later. Just people in positions of, I don't even want to say authority, but just positions where they're around people every day, to where bosses, teachers, doesn't really matter the profession, but in Sebastian's case, definitely a probability, man. And I hate to think of it that way, but between the video games,
there's predators everywhere.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't matter what profession.
But like sometimes people use those certain positions that they have when they kind of have that connection with people, or they're over someone.
Like a preacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many assault cases have we heard about? Yeah. It doesn't matter the profession. There's predators everywhere. They come disguised and all different.
They just use that angle.
So I saw that today, and I'm like, man, what if it could have been a teacher aide?
I didn't think of that one at all. That one didn't cross my mind.
It didn't either, really.
Like I was thinking maybe close, or maybe the video game, or electronic communication somewhere. But I wasn't thinking about outside the box 5 days a week when you're going to school, building connections with people regardless of how old they are. So that kind of makes more sense too. Just definitely a probability. Man, there's too many variables and not a lot of information.
Yeah, because there's a lot of cameras that would have caught anybody leaving and coming in at odd hours of the evening and night and morning, especially in between the hours that supposedly took place. There should be footage of a camera coming in and coming out. And so that's surprising too. Because if they did have the footage of a car entering and leaving, don't you think that would be posted as a vehicle of interest?
Should have been, if there is.
Right.
I know, depending on how they're. I don't want to say redundancy, but depending on how they back their camera footage up, some cameras it's 90 days, and if you don't save it prior to that, it just rewrites. Depending on their setup, they might have an archive of 3 years or something. But
No, I mean the footage was checked that day.
oh, they did check it.
Yeah, because on the dispatch, they go to each house and ask them if they have footage too. And there's a lot of no's.
It's a lot of cameras, though.
I mean, I've already went through the neighborhood. There's another 4 or 5 that should have caught stuff.
Especially the 2.
You got, and this is what, with the vehicle that's supposedly out there already, according, and I got to watch some of those mob videos to get caught up. It's been like a month and a half since I got to watch any of them, but where's that vehicle? Like, where's the picture of that vehicle for people to look out for? Because anytime there's a missing person, a crime that was committed, anything, there's going to be with a vehicle, it's going to be put out in the public. So why wouldn't there have been a picture on somebody's footage, or they have collected a picture on somebody's footage? I kind of wonder if people, they knew who Sebastian was, and they knew who other people were, and they were like, I ain't trying to deal with this bullshit. You ain't gonna bring me in it. I ain't got nothing.
I could see it going down like that. I didn't see nothing, didn't hear nothing. I don't have nothing on my cameras. Let me look real quick. Nope, nothing. And that's the extent. I don't know.
But I do feel like these people saved it.
Oh yeah, I would see saying that and then going back through and being like, depending on how tech savvy you are, I don't get to be too tech savvy with these cameras nowadays, but just kind of pan through if it had the motion and seeing what it was.
Former teachers.
Oh shit! It wasn't supposed to play. My bad.
You're good. But the ones that you had brought up should be it should show a great image. I don't see why there wouldn't be any video of a vehicle going in and out.
There should be. There should be, especially on that one camera I showed you guys, there should be an exact close-up side profile of that vehicle. Or any vehicle that came through those hours, because there's not going to be a lot of traffic. And the people that would be driving through in and out at that time were probably more than likely going to or from work, and they would have been able to be vetted. And the one that stuck out is the one that didn't have a reason to be in the damn neighborhood. Exactly.
Like, I don't know that truck or that car. Everybody else, you kind of, even if you didn't know your neighbor, you'd be like, well, I know that vehicle. But the one that stuck out during certain time frames, you would think it would be easy to put together.
All right, let me share this. This is about that teacher's aide. I'll show you guys real quick.
I didn't see this.
Teacher's aide at a school for children with special needs in Nashville is in jail tonight. He's accused of engaging in sexually explicit behavior with 2 of his students. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tracy Cornett.
And I'm Marius Payton.
Special needs. 2 students.
I'm Lauren Lowry. Police say it all happened over video calls.
Our Dryden Quigley spoke with parents of students with special needs who are worried it's happening too often.
Genesis Academy is a school for children with special needs, and now a former staff member is the subject of a Metro Police investigation. Police arrested Justin Henderson, who they say was an aide at the school for 5 years, until he was fired back in June. His charges allege that he engaged in sexual behavior with two 16-year-old students on social media.
My soul is crushed, and I think, here we go again.
Erin Richardson is a Nashville parent whose child has special needs. She says this arrest is her worst nightmare. Richardson says it's heartbreaking to hear an authority figure is accused of taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Some of our kids aren't verbal. Some of our kids are verbal, but may not have the ability to come home and tell us when things feel off.
She says
This is Nashville. So the people, come on. You have to sit there and go, man, you don't want to think it, but then you have to.
Was he fired before the charges were brought about or after?
Who? What?
The teacher's aide, was he fired before or after?
Probably when it came out.
Okay.
Right when it was being alleged and they found out there was,
So you got 5 whole years of no telling what. Those are just the ones that we know about, or they know about. I don't want to say there's got to be more, but typically, like a lot of people in prison be like, you do it? Nope, but I've done this, this, and this. So
yeah, there's 5 more to every one
Yeah.
that they get caught for. Yeah.
non-verbal. Anyway,
Ain't that? Yeah, it's gross. And people, no, I'm not. This is something that I just came across today. Trust me, I do a lot of work. I'm like, whoa, yeah, we're going to be bringing this up tonight because maybe it could have been a possibility. I wonder if there was any teachers that left right after Sebastian went missing.
teachers aid.
Whoop.
You got teachers aid, substitute teachers, fill-ins. People get sick or maternity leave. You got you got a whole operation of people who work at schools.
Yeah, but it would take somebody that has
Have that
the constant communication, so it's not going to be
build the trust.
right. It's going to be, yeah. It's the grooming, so they can, feel like they can get away with whatever they're doing. But this is an aid, so who knows where all he was at? He could have been going to different classrooms too, not just one. Different classrooms, different schools. Can you imagine all the different functions he probably signed up for to be around? You know, like, I mean, that's just what he got caught with. So you don't want to think it. I know there's probably going to be some people pissed.
Oh, they're going to say, don't get mad at the teachers.
Yeah,
like,
there's always people that want to talk shit, but I'm sorry. I'm just keeping it real, and we're no BS. Like, you have to question. Because we could not question and be in the same spot we were in 7 months ago. No, you got to question. You got to keep until you can cross that off on the list. It's still technically a possibility. So here, we'll play it again. It's gross.
Teacher's aide at a school for children with special needs in Nashville is in jail tonight. He's accused of engaging in sexually explicit behavior with 2 of his students. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tracy Cornett.
And I'm Marius Payton.
I'm Lauren Lowry. Police say it all happened over video calls.
Our Dryden Quigley spoke with parents of students with special needs who are worried it's happening too often.
Genesis Academy is a school for children with special needs, and now a former staff member is the subject of a Metro Police investigation. Police arrested Justin Henderson, who they say was an aide at the school for 5 years, until he was fired back in June. His charges allege that he engaged in sexual behavior with 2 16-year-old students on social media.
My soul is crushed, and I think, Here we go again.
Erin Richardson is a Nashville parent whose child has special needs. She says this arrest is her worst nightmare. Richardson says it's heartbreaking to hear an authority figure is accused of taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Some of our kids aren't verbal. Some of our kids are verbal, but may not have the ability to come home and tell us when things feel off.
She says incidents like this serve as a reminder of the
And you heard that he got fired in June. You know what that tells me? Is that they weren't comfortable enough to say anything until they knew the school year was done. When they didn't have to go back the next day.
Any parents would be showing up and everything. That's what I was wondering, how long they knew.
They probably just found out at the end of this. That's what I'm saying. They probably weren't comfortable enough to say anything until the school year was done. Until they knew they didn't have. I bet you the night of the after they came home from the last day of school, I bet you is when they told. Because they knew they didn't have to go back the next day and they didn't have to keep it a secret, because they probably might have said something before when it was starting to get weird and somebody dismissed it, or, he was able to talk his way out of it. But when it got to the end of the school year and they knew that they didn't have to go there the next day is when they said something. And then that's when they were like, holy crap, no, we're firing your ass. They probably gave it a couple weeks to see exactly, go through it, read through and then see, and they probably were shown the evidence as well. Because stuff took place on a phone too. So they were probably shown some kind of evidence as well, which then allowed them to terminate him right away.
I wonder where else he worked.
Who knows? Everybody's short-staffed. He probably went. What if he?
5 years.
Who says he didn't venture up? I mean, it's not that far. Hendersonville ain't that far, but it could be any. Just not him, even him, but just the possibility of
people bounce around.
There's predators in every profession. There's predators in every profession, and when we don't have a sign, we don't have a direction. Can anybody say right now that 100% it couldn't have been?
No.
But now it's like, it could be a possibility. And this happened today. So he was fired a few months ago. This is coming out today.
I feel like a lot of people want things hushed.
You hate to think it. It's just like these other people that have these shows and they talk negative about our characters and things like that. And it's like, you don't want to think that these people could be this way.
No, you don't want to.
But then time will tell you, yeah, you know what? There is people that are that way, when you didn't think that, and I supported this person for probably 3 years. And then and this person even knew everybody knows my name. Person even knew my name, and then the last time they speak of me, it's evil. Like, when did evil have one L in it? Evil. That's not how you pronounce vile. Vile is V-I-L-E. So it's like when you sit there and you think people are good people for however long time, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, you didn't want to think it, just like a teacher. You don't want to think a teacher could, or an aide, or even a janitor, like you said, you don't want to think, but at the same time, it's not the first time.
I'm the opposite, honestly.
Right?
I'll be honest. I'm usually like, People are like, "You're so negative." I look at the good and bad people, but at first, because I used to put those blinders up and think, "Oh, everybody's in this for the right reason." Yada yada. People are good. It's not what it looks like. No, fuck that. Just
No, I'm saying
open up
3
your
years.
blind. Yeah,
Dude, I mean, how could I not? I've had my head on a swivel since I was a child. You have to automatically think that everybody's coming at you
there you
negative
go.
to have
That's
your head on a swivel. I'm talking about somebody that I watched for 3 years never act.
not at all.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
I got you.
You watch somebody for 3 years and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. So when you see them take a turn on you, it's like, wait a minute. That's one person I didn't ever think was ever going to say anything like this shit or even make up jokes or talk down about my character, my intelligence, or my effort. And so that's when it's like, man, I didn't think that would be, but at the same time, just referring it to the teachers, like you don't want to think that it's a possibility, but you know what? Life has a way of telling you or showing you, yeah, it is. You know, it'd be like, like hanging out with you and stuff, and then one day all of a sudden, who knows what happens, and then all of a sudden, you're saying the same shit that this person was saying, and it's like, wow, I didn't think that would happen, but again,
Oh, things happen.
it does. Not that I'm not looking, like I know how to keep my head on a swivel, but after a certain time, you just, you feel you get to know people and really
Your guard kind of comes in and down. You build the
the
trust. I get it.
no, my guard never was down with this person.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. So,
Oh, okay. No, it's
No
more
idea.
about more no, it's all good. We can just all right, let me go to the rest of this video here, see what else they say.
Conversations parents need to have with their kids about appropriate behavior from teachers.
The difference for parents with kids with special needs is that we have to bring that information to their level, whatever level they're on.
We've reached out to Genesis to see what they had to say to parents. They did not respond.
You are handing your child over to a school and you are vesting in them the obligation to take care of your child. And there are very few things that are scarier than that.
Henderson is being held on a $150,000 bond. His court appearance is set for tomorrow. In Nashville, Dryden Quigley.
So they're basically letting you know that his court date is tomorrow. That's why it's news today.
I wonder why the parent said, "Here we go again."
Because it's not the first time it's happened with a teacher.
Like at this school?
No,
just
that lady, this lady right here is like an advocate.
Oh, okay.
So she deals with exactly what took place. She's probably a counselor for disabled children. She helps them through different, phases of life and struggles and coping and all those different things. And so it's probably another one, that she's worked with that it's like, yep, this another teacher and another child. Yeah. Let's see here. So this is let me see 1 second. I wanted to go to something else here. Was anybody in the lounge last night? Do you got to work tonight?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
I work every night, every day, every hour.
What nights do you got off? Like Saturday and Sunday or something?
Pretty well. It just kind of depends.
Okay. Let me see here.
Well, actually, everything's changing. We're going to do a transition, so it'll be kind of drastic.
What do you mean?
I won't put it on. I won't make it public, but I'll have more time off.
Oh, I got you.
But it won't be set. It'll be like a yo-yo.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Everything will eventually come back around, but you'll be rotating different days off. You might have 1 day off, then have like 4 days off, then have 2 days off, have 3, like stuff like that. Not 4 days, 3 days.
Oh yeah, I wanted to play this. So this is that sewer drone that we were talking about a little bit ago. I was going to play that. So this is what it looks like when one of those sewer drones. It's not like you could just drive a monster truck in there and be okay. So when you're looking at this it looks just like the cover that is kind of sticking out in the neighborhood as we're driving around. I'm gonna go more into that tonight to see if there's any more of those. But this is what it basically looks like. It's right in the middle of it. I've never seen them before. They don't have them here. I don't know. Do they have them over there where you're at, bro? Because I don't. I
Not-
never seen these before in my life until
I've seen a
here.
couple of them like in different spots, but usually in the road.
In your neighborhood? Yeah, in the
Yeah.
road. I'm not. No, I mean, yeah, they're in the road everywhere. I'm talking about in somebody's yard, in between houses.
Not to, there's like a couple places I've seen, but not a lot. More
I've
of
never
a.
even seen one.
I don't want
That's
to
okay.
keep saying podunk, but in some podunk areas, I've seen them in people's yards, but not around where I live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're gonna see it in the country. You're gonna see it in the country.
Yeah.
You're gonna see it on city streets. You're gonna see it on, streets in small towns. I'm talking in between two people's property, uh, in city limits. I've never seen it ever until Hendersonville. Is the first time that I've seen them like that. So it's kind of weird to me. I don't know where this takes place. Let me see. Let me see if it has like a location or something. Let's see. Yeah, don't. Sewer flyability. So somebody probably sent it in or something. But I've never seen it. It's just kind of crazy. But this is how they would have access to go into those. And this is what it would look like. And they're usually tethered with the cables already connected. That way they can still be controlled and maneuvered and recording no matter where they're going. So it basically just kind of goes through. In their neighborhood, Joni, it's actually there's streets and a lot of houses in the area. It's not your typical country like where they're located and where the area that we're talking about. It's in an area that isn't like one house per square mile, when it comes to the country. This is more here. Let me show you the location real quick. So as we're kind of zooming in, you can see right here, there's a lot of streets, there's a lot of houses, there's a lot of there's a lot of development. Now, if you're talking like out here, right? Then yeah, I could see somebody out here having it in their yard. You know what I'm saying? But when you're talking about here, see, we're actually kind of talking about this specific one right here. Okay. So when you're looking at this one right here, you kind of have to take that video and visualize it kind of going in through here. And this is what we were talking about. See all these homes and the different streets. It's populated pretty well. You don't have a house. Typically out in the country, it's like what, 4 houses at each corner, square mile, kind of thing. So yeah, it's more of a populated area. So even though it might not be quote city limits, it's still in a highly populated area. And also, when you're next to a high school and a middle school, I think you are kind of considered in city limits. So I don't really think that it's country. All right, so that was the drone. Now, have you guys seen this video about the Lore Lodge? Have you heard of his channel before?
I seen the. I never heard of it until I seen one video of his. Actually, there's two.
Yeah, the one that Busby sent a long time ago. When it comes to the kidnapping, what's up, Pam 188, Cherry 187? Thank you very much. I thought underground pathways. Let me see. It's not that road. Shackle. It's called Shackle Island. What is Shackle Island? Is that? There's the new Shackle Island Road right here. Oh yeah, it says Shackle. So that okay? What the hell is that? Like Shackle Island is like a part of Hendersonville? What do they do? Like have it broke off into different
I forgot what it's called. Where you got like a township
like a suburb?
or something.
Like a suburb?
Probably maybe. I'm not saying that's what it is, but like we've had before, like I don't want to say the towns, but like a city town and then like city township or something like that, where it's basically the same area, suburb. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. I didn't know that they were big enough to have suburbs because it's only 64,000 people. Right? 64,000 people. You got suburbs.
I mean, there's towns with 20,000 people that have
really?
Suburbs.
I don't know. I mean, it's weird to me. I'm just thinking of like the city.
Yeah, where it's true.
Where you really do have suburbs.
Boom. Yeah, to the actual suburbs. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you have over 100, 200, 300, 400,000 people, 500,000 people or more living in an area. Yes, that's a suburb. This is like a neighborhood. I don't know if let me see. I mean, okay, it is. It is like it is a suburb.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's
Let's see. You got another one. Paytona, Avondale, Maple Row Estates. Okay. Shackle Island. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, there was that episode. And I was like, dang. That's pretty wild. And it kind of goes along with like the kidnapping stuff. And so it really makes you wonder. I don't know. When you're listening and you're going into what's there for the evidence, what there is for directions, what there is for any of it, none of it makes you can't really pinpoint one thing. And so I had already kind of been thinking it since our last searches were done in May. But there's so many different, even tonight, right? Even tonight, bringing up about like a teacher's aide getting in trouble, and who's saying a teacher's aide might not, uh, when you look at what is there and what's not there, it really does lead to either two things. He didn't walk out. So it leads to two things. Did something happen inside the house and then he was taken somewhere? Or did somebody lure him out of the house and he was taken somewhere? And so when I watched this, it kind of had more, in my mind, I felt more validation to what I was thinking in my own mind, because it's like, I really do feel like he was, if nothing happened inside the home for him to be taken from the home somewhere else, and somebody lured him out of the home, there's so many different possibilities that could be just alone about getting lured, from anyone, from a video game to an aide, to a teacher, to a neighbor. We don't even know if it could be a neighbor or not. We heard when this first started going down, within the first month, we heard that an SO moved across the street. It could easily be a neighbor too. So when you're thinking about these kind of different theories and possibilities, it definitely, you have to consider it, because at this moment there is nothing telling us anything different about what did or didn't take place that evening or morning. So we're going to check this one out real quick. There's 3 parts to it. We're only going to check out one, and I'm going to have it at 1.25 speed. But I want you guys to really kind of, because if he wasn't taken out, I'm not saying he was. I'm not saying anything happened at the house, even though it's a possibility. I'm not saying anything happened at the house. I'm not saying that he was taken out of the house. I'm saying maybe when you're looking at the evidence, if he wasn't taken out of the house and something happened at the house, and you combine that with the evidence of what's there and what's not there, this is a total lured abduction. He didn't walk. There's no way in hell, even if he had shoes, he didn't walk. Because, he ain't going to leave his phone if he's walking somewhere. Think about it. What kid is going to run away and not bring their phone? They may not answer your call.
Yeah.
But they're going to bring their phone. So when you look at the evidence, if something didn't happen and he wasn't taken, he was definitely lured and abducted. And when it comes to this channel, I thought they did a really cool job of breaking it all down, and I thought I would share it with you. Thanks, Busby, for sharing this. It was like, what, a month or 2 ago you shared it with us? Yeah, and it was like, wow, I totally legit. So there's the channel. Here's the link for part 1. We're going to check this out for a little bit. And I'm not going to play the whole thing tonight, but we're just going to check it out for a little bit.
I'm going to head out, buddy. I'll listen to you in the background.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Be safe, man. Have a smooth night at work, man. I know it's the recoup is the shitty part, and hopefully you get to feeling better too, man.
Yeah, it'll be a minute, but just got to deal with it and push through.
I hear you, man.
Love
Prayers
y'all.
and energy, man. Appreciate you, bro.
See, yep.
All right, this is the Lower Lodge. Again, 1.25 speed. Here's the link to the video. Go hit the thumbs up on it. Show some love. Leave a heart or a trophy, as always. And then come on back.
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Denver Court, 1008 Denver Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male was not in the bed. We have white male, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, one from his tongue down. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
Just wondering.
By the time this video is released, it will have been nearly 5 months since Sebastian Rogers went missing, and he has still not been found. I'm Aiden Mattis, and welcome back to Glory. Covering this story at this time is not something that I had initially planned on doing, and that was for a number of reasons. One of those reasons was that we had planned to cover the moon landing and the conspiracies surrounding it this week because it's going to be the 55th anniversary of that event. The other one is that I typically try to avoid covering ongoing missing persons cases, ones where the police response is still active, the investigation is still ongoing, because oftentimes all of the information is not out there, and you don't want to accidentally interfere. You don't want to cause a whole hullabaloo about one aspect of the case that sidetracks the law enforcement group's attention, and then you have diverted resources away from what could have been a better lead. And when I first came across this story, it was around the same time that Riley Strain had disappeared. In fact, it was while I was researching for our Riley Strain video. And at the time, it looked...
And we were out there searching for Riley Strain, and that's when we were reached out to go take our efforts and our 150% to the community to try and look for Sebastian. We didn't even know who Sebastian was. We didn't even learn about Sebastian or the case until the drive up there to go help. It was crazy, a crazy time. And now, look, doing everything that we can for him too.
Very weird. It had been about 2 weeks between this disappearance and the disappearance of Riley Strain. At some points, I wondered, could these two things be connected? But it was such a sensitive topic that I felt it best to let that one be. And you know what? We'll focus on the Riley Strain thing. And if anything more comes out about this Sebastian Rogers story, then I'm going to look into that. But there just wasn't enough information out around, March. I think it was the week of like March 22nd that we wrote that video. So I said, let's let it be. And if anything more comes to my attention, I'll look into that. And in the months that followed, the name Sebastian Rogers kind of just fell out of the news cycle, and I'll admit, it slipped my mind to go back and look at it again. And then around 4th of July weekend, I got a direct message on Instagram, and it was from Brayson Cyrus, Miley Cyrus's younger brother, the member of that Cyrus family. But going beyond the fact that when somebody from one of Nashville's biggest music families asks you to look into a local case, it's just the kind of thing that you do. You just go and do that. It was really the way that Brayson talked to me about it, how sincere he was and how much he really seemed to care about finding out what happened to this kid, that I said, all right, this is more important than the moon landing. We're putting that to the wayside. I'm going to see what I can find out about Sebastian Rogers, because at the very least, maybe we can get this back into the news cycle. To be perfectly honest with you, I had no idea how convoluted this story had become in the months after it had fallen off of my radar. It is bananas is really the only way to put it. There are so many conflicting accounts, so many gaping holes in narratives that I actually had to sit there and tell myself, I was like, this needs to be 2 videos. I cannot cover this entire story. I cannot do Sebastian the justice that needs to be done in 1 week of research. It just won't happen. So in a similar vein to the way that we did our Dyatlov Pass videos about a year ago, this part 1 is going to cover kind of the timeline of events leading up to when everything gets weird. So this video is going to introduce the important characters. It's going to tell you what happened in what sequence and kind of give you the groundwork for why the next video, which comes out a week from today, is going to be so convoluted. I think that you'll understand when we get to the end here why this needed more time. But worry not, this is not going to be some sort of especially short or summary video, and that's partially because this gave me a great chance to go and take a look back at any updates to the Riley Strain case. So the first half of this video is going to be covering the timeline of the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, some of the police calls, how
And we'll be having a Riley Strain episode here coming up, I think, next week, where I'm going to be showing you a bunch of footage.
that search developed over the course of the first month or so. And then we're going to go and look at the autopsy and toxicology report from Riley Strain and some of the questions I still have about that case for the second half of this video, really probably like the last third. But before we get into all of that, there is one thing I need to do, and that is tell you about our partner for today's video, Delete Me. Delete Me is a service that is...
And I want whoever wants to unsubscribe to me because of a commercial that's playing, just go ahead and unsubscribe to me right now. Because if a commercial is going to make that be the deciding factor on whether you are a part of the community or not, it's about more than a commercial. And so if you want to unsubscribe because of a commercial, or you almost did, I'm just going to say, please do. Because I need people that are about what the community is about. And I've never, ever heard anybody say that they were considering unsubscribing because of a commercial that was playing during the stream. So I hope I helped make your decision. Please do. Because I need people that are going to be down. I give 150. I need people that are going to be down for me like I'm down for them. And if that's your deciding factor, I'm sorry, I'm not down for you.
Is designed to keep you from being not anonymous when you didn't choose to be. What I mean by that is that there are data brokers out there who come in and grab your data. Have you filled out a form on a website recently, given it your email, your name, your birthday? Good news, it is now owned by some data broker somewhere. I'm not kidding, I am not giving you scare tactics. I used to work in digital marketing and I used these lists myself. I will be honest with you, I didn't want to. I did not like my jobs in marketing, but we all gotta pay the bills somehow. Now, what Delete Me does is basically
Yeah, let's just skip ahead. Okay. And there's no reason to be sorry. I appreciate people showing me their souls, because I don't have to waste any more time on your ass. Because there's enough people out there that already know that they don't get 150 from people. And you know what? Those are the people that deserve the 150. The people that sit there and go, I've never had 150 before. Guess what? You fucking deserve 150%. And you know what? Those people, you don't deserve it. So I don't have a problem telling somebody to just go ahead and do it if that's how you feel. Because honestly, you ain't giving me 100 anyway. You just showed me who you are and you just saved me time. That's why trolls, when they come in and they're like, guess what? You just saved me however much time it would have taken me before to see your true soul. So thank you for saving me time.
Early in the morning of Monday, February 26, 2024, police in Hendersonville, Tennessee, a small city just northeast of Nashville, received a call about a missing child. That boy was, and as far as anyone is aware, still is Sebastian Rogers, who lived in the Stafford Court neighborhood with his parents, Katie and Christopher Proudfoot. And he lived about half a mile west of Beach High School, where he appears to have been either a freshman or sophomore. Katie is his biological mother, and Christopher is his stepfather. But that morning, rather than driving her son to school, Katie Proudfoot was calling the police and then driving around the area in her baby blue Infiniti SUV looking for Sebastian. And when police arrived on scene, they were met with a somewhat difficult set of circumstances. Nobody knew precisely when Sebastian had left the home, nor if he'd done so of his own volition or at the urging of somebody else. All they had to go on is that he was last known to have been in the home before midnight. And that, in and of itself, is not a particularly specific hint. In addition to that, he left his phone in the kitchen, his shoes were still by the front door, and there was no indication as to what direction he'd left in.
See what I'm saying? Left the phone, Shoes next to the door. No sign of entry. No sign of even how he left. Either something happened inside the home and he was taken somewhere, because you're not going to be worried about putting the shoes on if something happened inside the home, are you? You're not going to be worried about the shoes. You're not going to be worried about them. You're not going to be worried about him if you lure him out either, are you? He did not walk away.
That meant this was going to be an uphill battle to find him, but with no reason yet to suspect foul play, police were hopeful that he would not have strayed far from the home and would be found somewhere within the general area. And at first, it seemed like that might be the case. While there were no footprints.
No. You see the videos. I've been posting them for you guys. I got plenty more to publish. I just haven't done it yet. You see the videos. You walking in there with no shoes? Even if you are walking with shoes? Even when you're walking in there with shoes. Good night, Samantha. He did not walk. Appreciate you, Samantha. Appreciate you all for hanging out. Thank you. Sorry we were a little late tonight. And we're not going to have a crazy long show. We're going to be doing another show tomorrow where I'll be able to be on a little longer. I had a lot of work today and a lot of rest to catch up on. And we're going to be going out to back out to Myrtle Beach here for about a week. We have some things we need to take care of, some things. There's a lot of foolery going on out there. The community's been begging me to come back out there. So I'm going to come back out there for a short period of time, help fix some shit, continue some of the work that I was doing, and then I'm going to be coming back for Sebastian in about a week or so. So we are going to be taking a short transition over to Myrtle Beach to go out there and get a few things with Micah Miller's case. Lot of foolery going on out there, so we're gonna go there and get all that stuff fixed, and then also bring more awareness for that too. But we will be back boot searching for Sebastian here in about a week. Got a lot of stuff cleared out of the way. Still a lot more to do. I'll still be working on the case, even though we're going to be out in Myrtle Beach for a few days. But we're going to basically, when we're coming back, yeah, I know, I saw that, Michael. More foolery. This is what I'm talking about. But so once I come back, this is the good thing about it is the time me going, it's all kind of working out together, going out there, getting that stuff fixed for the community. And also during that time, I'm going to be fine tuning with the group and the team. I'm going to be fine tuning these different places to search and kind of getting everything set. So that way, when I come back in about a week, we're going to be hitting home runs when it comes to these searches that are coming up. So I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much for being a part of the community. It means everything to me and us. And it allows us to be able to go to any of these communities and help try and make a difference in any way that we can. And trust me, we're coming back out to Myrtle Beach to help that community. They've reached out a lot, especially the last week and a half. I mean, reaching out like crazy. Don't worry. I got some. We got some downtime that we're going to be working on some things in the background. I can do that stuff from Myrtle Beach. I'm coming out there to help out in Myrtle Beach here very, very, very soon.
Led its handler east from the Proudfoots neighborhood and into the construction site between Stafford Court and Beach High School. At first, it was only a scent trail, but then, as they progressed further into the construction site, the officer handling Max started to see footprints. The canine unit then followed these footprints further into the construction site and right up to the edge of a retaining pond. And then, Max went into the pond.
Max led me straight to the retaining pond, over behind Willow Boulevard. He dove right into the water.
But wherever the boy could have gone from there, it's hard to say. The police communications don't record any other further footprints. Or at least I should say the police communications I was able to get my hands on, which came from the YouTube channel Missing in Plain Sight. I don't know particularly where they got them, but it was the most complete version of the audio that I was able to find during this week's research. I'm going to be trying to see if I can find a more complete version from the cops in this upcoming week. In any case, after checking the retaining pond, the construction crews that worked at the site were beginning to arrive on scene.
Thank you.
So the police told them, hey, keep your eyes out. There's a missing boy in the area. Check the spots you're working. And if you see anything, let us know. Also, just in case I wasn't clear enough, everything that I'm talking about right now comes from that police radio communications. And all of that came from, again, Missing in Plain Sight's videos that have the audio in them. And it's that audio, those communications, that told me that for the next several hours, police checked every tip they could. Anything that came in, they were willing to give it a look. And this meant checking everything from downtown Hendersonville all the way out towards Gallatin, 12 miles to the east. But no matter where they checked, no matter how many tips came in, nothing turned out to be Sebastian Rogers. And then one of the police officers operating a drone spotted something. Drone operator said, hi guys, the construction zone, there's another pond. There's somebody standing in the woods. It looks like a person. It is a person, we know, but there's another pond. He's standing back there by himself, past the construction zone in the same area back there. Then another officer says, next to the north of us. The drone operator then says, yeah, the north end of it, yeah. Where they're working on the machinery at, go straight back. There's another pond back there, but there's a person in the woods by that pond, past the house on the other side of the tree line. Another officer responds and says, going back toward beach or going the back side? The drone operator says, yeah, on the back side, and he's not moving. He's just standing there by himself in the woods. With this being reported, several officers utilizing ATVs to travel and then the drone for coordination made their way back toward this pond, towards this man that's standing stock still. They got within 25 feet and then within 15, and then they recognized precisely what it is they were looking at.
The mannequin. Sorry, guys. Look just like a person from the air.
And unfortunately, that is just kind of how the rest of that day went. While the officers should absolutely be commended for the attention they paid to this case, for the efforts they made during that initial search process, ultimately, their efforts turned up nothing. They checked every house, explored every unlocked crawl space, and reviewed the security footage from every home that would give it to them. But there was no sign of Sebastian.
Notice he said, the ones that would give them the footage. Say you had some dealings. I mean, I don't even live there. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I had dealings, right? I don't even live there. Wasn't doing anything wrong. I've had dealings. Can you imagine being a neighbor that possibly had footage? Just like we said earlier. I ain't got nothing. And then the door shuts. Hey, honey, is that recorded? Let's record it just so we have a backup. No, I've had dealings with this person before. We don't have shit. Yeah, Sam. That's as I've been going through my footage the last couple weeks, the security cam breakdown. There's cameras. There's 4 or 5 cameras, and I'm still trying to determine if one of them is a camera or not. There's 4 to 5 cameras that would have footage that would come in very handy, more handy than the footage that you see at this house, okay? More footage than you see at this house. This house has the certain footage, okay? We already knew that in April when I did the first security sweep. But when you're talking about some other houses around this area and up here, there's houses that would have had something. Like I said, 4, possibly 5, but 4 for sure. Okay. And when you're talking about this right here, whoa, that went crazy. This right here is the only entrance and exit to the neighborhood. And when you're talking about the homes, side profile of my vehicle driving by. A perfect side profile. You're talking over here. This is just a couple of them. You're talking this camera looking over to the right. Guess what's over to the right? This road right here. See the camera? That camera's pointed directly at us. And I've already confirmed it with my footage. That's why I'm just showing you the Google, because I've already confirmed it with, there's some shit that isn't there that is on Google. And that's when you have to rely on the footage from April to then verify if these images are correct or not. So it would have caught any kind of action parking right there. And then right here would have been a side profile for that. So there is. That's why I'm saying, like, they knew who it was. Maybe they had dealings with this individual before, and they're like, no, don't tell them we have shit, Susie. Just say we don't have anything, because we don't need that bullshit. I don't know what's up with the disrespectful comments in chat. It's a little concerning. Because even if I was under a substance, I still wouldn't be making comments about that. Especially a comment from somebody that's a supporter. I'm kind of shocked. But again, just like the creator I was talking about earlier in the show, you just never know.
Into this case, for the efforts they made during that initial search process, ultimately their efforts turned up nothing. They checked every house, explored every unlocked crawl space, and reviewed the security footage from every home that would give it to them. But there was no sign of Sebastian. And I can only imagine how frustrating it must have been during this initial search phase for the officers going to all of these different homes that had cameras and just finding nothing on them. Some of the time, it was like 139 Willow Bend, where you had cameras looking right back out at that retaining pond that Max led his handler to, but those guys wouldn't answer the door. And then you had houses like 1015 Kellen Lane, one road over from staff.
See, people wouldn't answer the door. People are not handing over their footage. You see where I'm coming from? Oh, fuck. We don't have... Now, if they would have... Listen. If they would have seen Sebastian walking, I'm sure they would have turned it over. Come on. They're human. But if they seen a car, right? If they seen a car in this area, right? They're like, shoot, we got a weird, suspicious car driving by at a certain time of night. You know, that's weird. But we don't see Sebastian. We ain't got nothing, Susie. Don't know. Listen, we ain't got nothing, Susie. You see what I'm saying? Like, you have people, like even the United CN sitting there talking about how they were getting threats. right? You even had the PFs. You even had the PFs talking like they were getting threats. Who says that these trolls are even aligned? Who says that these trolls aren't part of something else? And anybody that's trying to find him, because it is a house of cards, right? Everybody's spazzing because they don't want their card pulled underneath, because then everybody else comes falling down. Oh, yeah, the thing is, though, Sam, is they never caught Koberger's car. They never did. That's why they were still looking for a 2011 to 2013, December 16th, according to Chief Fry. And then all of a sudden, when they arrest Koberger, all of a sudden it's a 2011 to 2016. Where's the vehicle photo to put out to the public again? Just like this one. Where's the vehicle photo? Michael, it could be. Think about it. Everybody, if you like, whether you believe them or not, the Proudfoots were saying that they were getting threats of passing as well. The store the next day, I mean, you can go to, listen, I was there, Sam. There's only a couple. It ain't that big. And if you are from Washington, I learned this the hard way. After the first couple days of being there, getting all my, because I stayed in Washington State when I went there for a week. And I went shopping in Washington State for 2 days before I learned you got to go to Idaho to do your shopping. Because in Washington State, they don't have bags for your stuff. So when you go to the store, I was literally having to walk in the hotel the first couple nights with items from the store inside my coat because I didn't have bags. Then I started to learn, go to Moscow, go to Idaho, because at least you get bags for the stuff that you buy at the store. And when it comes to him, the vehicle on surveillance, I'm talking about when the crime took place and the route, not the next day. You could get a picture of anybody going to the store the next day. When it comes to the crime, no. When you're the best you have is here. Let me put this up here because I actually drove that route, Sam. This is the route that he took, and I did it in the daytime so you could see all the security cameras that exist on that route. Okay, you're gonna tell me that ring cam is the photo that you can pull up and that doesn't even show his vehicle or not? That right there is Koberger's PCA route to 1122 King Road, and the route that he should have took if he was trying to get away with the crime. You don't even take that route to get away with the crime. You take the route that I show you he would have took. And so the reason I did this video right here is to show everybody the amount of security cameras and traffic cameras that would have noticed him as he's driving to commit the crime according to the PCA route. Now, also, in another show, we showed you that there's actually live camera feeds to some of those intersections, and you know what? It was crystal clear on the vehicles. So there should have been no way whatsoever that he wouldn't have been caught on camera. We'll be having an Idaho 4 show coming again soon. I did a lot of work there. I was out on location last year for the year anniversary when the crime took place. and I got a lot of footage. Go check out my last Idaho 4 show. I kind of used my own footage to show you guys the incel theory at Queen Road Apartments, because that's who I think committed this crime.
Report where people had Ring cameras that just didn't pick anything up. And when people did answer the door, some said that they had seen Sebastian in the past, but they hadn't seen him that morning. One neighbor was able to tell police that he had once found Sebastian hiding under his son's car, which added check under cars to the police search criteria, but nothing much other than that. Meanwhile, other tips came in with boys matching Sebastian's description report.
That's crazy, because when I went to the stores, maybe it was just in Pullman, Washington. When I was in Pullman, Washington, I didn't even see a spot for bags, Royal Blue. I didn't, because I would have paid the 8 cents for the bag, trust me, instead of carrying all my items up to the hotel in my coat. It was hard when you were carrying supplies with like food and all sorts of different stuff. Yeah, it was a task.
Reported in Gallatin, downtown Hendersonville, and along Long Hollow Road, and these are all 3 very different locations. Unfortunately, none of these leads turned out to be anything more than a sighting of a white teenage male who was vaguely similar in appearance to the missing child. One possibility that the police considered was that Sebastian was actually not in the area anymore at all, and that he had deliberately tried to go somewhere else. And one suggestion was the town of White House, Tennessee, which is about 7 miles north of where he lived if you were to go just as the crow flies. It's more like 10 miles if you take the roads. So definitely not, a casual little walk, but also not an impossible trek for a 15-year-old boy to make. Now, as for why he would want to go to White House, there was not a ton of information on that presented, at least not in the police recordings. I'm going to go and see if I can find more information about it, but a cursory search didn't turn up anything. All that we got from the police tapes was he had some ties at White House High School, and every time he got in trouble, he wanted to go back to White House. I notified White House PD, and they're notifying their SAR. Another officer suggested that they check Strike and Spare, which is a bowling and arcade facility in downtown Hendersonville, because allegedly, Katie Proudfoot had taken Sebastian there last night, well, the previous night, I should say, to do just the whole bowling and arcade thing. Officers thought it was possible that Sebastian had enjoyed being there so much that he decided to walk back and try and get back in after bed. But even checking down there was no sign of Sebastian. So, with nothing found in the immediate vicinity, the case was escalated. News Nation reporting that the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an endangered child alert at 11:17 a.m. on February 26th. The day after Sebastian's disappearance was reported, the endangered child alert was upgraded to an Amber Alert, which carried one specific difference. There was concern that this was an abduction, but the question then is why suspect this was a kidnapping? One very simple possibility is statistics. Sebastian's biological parents, Seth Rogers and Katie Proudfoot, were divorced, and according to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, family members are responsible for about 58% of reported abductions. So as a result, a non-custodial parent is going to be one of the first people that the police look at in child abduction cases. On the other hand, the NCMEC does consider autism to be a risk factor in child exploitation. And the concern here would be that someone either gained Sebastian's trust, lured him out, or just convinced him to leave the house and then took him. No matter what the official reason for the change to an Amber Alert was, they were definitely concerned about an abduction. So with the Amber Alert issued, police waited for tips to come in while professional and volunteer search groups combed the Hendersonville area looking for Sebastian. And as they did so, they were supported by a group called Sumner County Fire Buffs, who provided food to those searching. Speaking to Nashville-based WKRN News, Fire Buff spokeswoman, Nicole Federchek, said the sense in the community is everybody just wants to find Sebastian, this little boy that most of us have never even met before, and they just want to bring him home to his family. Meanwhile, Sumner County Deputy Chief Eric Craddock told people to closely monitor and check their surveillance systems. And he said, I think that's going to be what breaks the case. That is to say, with how many surveillance systems there are out there now between home CCTV, Ring doorbells, dash cams, somebody must have seen Sebastian. But then, on Wednesday, the 28th of February, WKRN reported something a little weird when the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation put out the following statement. Understandably, there is interest in hearing from friends and family to help provide more of a personal context about Sebastian. However, we have been requested by the family, Katie and Chris Proudfoot, to let local media know that they are not in a position to speak or to be available to media at this time. We have told them that while we would relay their message, it would be the decision of the individual media outlets and reporters to proceed as they see fit. And it's important to note that to this point, 3 days into the search, the Proudfoots had not made any public appearances. No speaking to the media, no gatherings, no vigils, nothing. Everything had been relayed through the police. And while I understand wanting to avoid the media circus, it does strike me as a little odd that they would completely shut them out. You know, given the near total lack of information about Sebastian, I would expect that they would want to share anything that might help find him. And I'll also say that this was one of the first things that tipped me off that this was not going to be a straightforward investigation. And the same could be said about some things with his father, Seth. This is going to get really weird. So for now, I just want you guys to take in what I say. Don't make any assumptions. Don't jump to any conclusions. Obviously, do not harass anybody. Do not, go out there and start talking about how, oh, it was definitely the Proudfoots, or oh, it was definitely Seth. The goal right now is to just get the information compiled, tell you what is factual information, and move on.
And focus on Sebastian. That's what it's about. It's not about saying one side or the other. It's not about being pro one side. It's about being pro Sebastian. There's a lot of shows that are pro one side. It's not about being pro one side. Pro Sebastian, regardless. Period. That's why, oh, it's this side or that. No, it ain't neither side. It's Sebastian's side. It's Sebastian's side. Regardless of who had to do with what, it doesn't matter, because it's not justice for Sebastian if it's overlooked, all theories, thoughts, and opinions until you can legitimately cross any of them off, until it leads you to the last one that's not crossed off, and there it is.
On from there. All I'm saying right now is an acknowledgement that this struck me as a little weird. And the reason, and a big part of the reason it did, is because the police weren't really making much progress. If the police had been getting, lead after lead after lead, crawling and scraping their way towards finding Sebastian, I'd understand wanting to let them just continue doing what they're doing. But they were not having any success. And that's not a dig at the cops. The truth of the matter is, looking at the information they had available to them, I don't see a good way to track Sebastian down without considering foul play. As News Nation reported, the pond that Max the dog led his handler to, the one where there were no footprints leading away from it and Max couldn't pick up a scent trail leading away, they drained it. Nothing there. They also reviewed tons of security camera footage, and there was nothing there. And as they deployed other dog teams to try and search the areas, once again, nothing could be picked up. The good news is that this did not seem to dampen the spirits of the community. If anything, it invigorated them further. And by March 2nd, WKRN was reporting that local business owners had pooled enough money to post a reward for any information leading to Sebastian's safe return. And by the time that article was published, that fund was up to $3,000. While the community rallied, however, News Nation reported on the 4th that police were planning to scale the effort down. Speaking to the media, Deputy Chief Eric Craddock explained that they were transitioning from the ground search to the investigative side. Now, I think it's important to talk about what scaling down the ground search means here, as well as what transitioning to the investigative side means. A lot of the time when I see people comment on missing persons cases, it's a lot of, well, why did the police stop looking? Why'd they scale it down? What were they thinking? They should have tried harder. Fact of the matter is, police departments, while they do have plenty of issues and we talk about them frequently, one of the ones they really can't control is funding and how many officers they can have and how well those officers can be trained. Most missing persons searches are not handled by the investigating department alone. They are a combination of the investigating department, outside agencies, volunteer groups, and then also some private search and rescue. All of that costs time and money that can only really be devoted for so long. The ground search had covered a ton of territory all over the Hendersonville area, and the fact of the matter was, they'd found absolutely nothing useful. In this situation, the first week of that ground search included over 200 officials from a dozen different agencies. And then on top of those guys, you also had volunteer efforts. So this was not a small search, this was not a short search, this was intensive. And by the 4th, they were just at the point where nothing new was coming up. This was after using drones, helicopters, horses, search dogs, and dive teams. So my point in saying this is they looked for Sebastian. Scaling down the search and switching to the investigative side simply meant there's nothing more we feel we can find from the ground effort, and the resources are better spent looking into other tips that are coming in and reviewing the evidence we have. Unfortunately, this is also typically the part of the investigation, at least in my experience reviewing so many of these, where police have a tendency to forget about. And I do want to say that it's usually not an issue of malice or them saying, we don't care, it doesn't matter. It's that at first you've got an entire team dedicated to it, and then you have something else happen. And then you've got half a team, and then you've got a couple of partners, and then you got one guy, and eventually that guy leaves and nobody's paying attention to the case anymore. I cannot tell you how many of the cases we've looked at where that's what happened. Just, it fell out of view. Even Tommy Booth, one that happened in our backyard a decade or 2 decades ago, we went and talked to the police about it. 20 years, guys. There was not a single person in that station who worked the case. And the reason I kind of harp on this in this case is that I don't want the Hendersonville Police Department to get flack for this stage of the search. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, I'm sure you know when the police need their heels put to the fire, we do it. I don't feel that we're looking at that kind of situation right now where the police department needs to be admonished. So anyway, I do also need to say that another important aspect of that announcement that the police were scaling down the search was that they also did instruct residents of the area to make sure that they were frequently checking their own properties twice a day, checking all of their surveillance footage, and even taking a look at their trail cams. While Sebastian and the Proudfoot family did live in a little suburban development community, a lot of the area around them is very rural, so you would expect there to be a lot of different hunters and people like that in the area who are going to be keeping an eye on the wildlife on their land, and if somebody was crossing it, they'd probably pass in front of a trail cam. There isn't a ton of reporting about what happened between the 4th and the 7th, but on the 7th, local reporter Nick Barris said that the Sumner County Sheriff's Office were searching a landfill in Kentucky where the Stafford Court neighborhood trash was taken.
Okay, so I had a very interesting conversation with a law enforcement individual that resides in the town where they checked the landfill. Had a conversation with her about it. And I said, you know, it's crazy about that landfill. As I said, you look at Quentin Simon's landfill search, and it was something completely different. They had a grid pattern. They combed through it. They had a humongous team out there. And I said, were you out there? Yeah, I was out there. Okay. What did it look like? It was an effective search like Quentin Simon? No. It was just a couple people, wasn't it? It wasn't some huge team, was it? Yeah, it was just a couple people. I don't even think they really searched it that good. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought too. They couldn't find nothing. Go back to the Quentin Simon landfill search. That's a search for a landfill. There's a huge difference. So I was like, that's interesting. It's nice to hear it from a law professional, Ellie, that was there, that resides there. Just confirmed it. Who knows? These landfills, you never know, man. That's why it takes the extensive search that it does, the grids. They had to get a search warrant. They had to get a search warrant to go to the landfill to search. You can't just go search it without a warrant. So the moment that you have to get a warrant to go search up there, there's plenty of agencies that have the resources to do an effective search. You just have to ask. So who knows about the landfill, you know?
And this was not based off of any sort of specific tip. He just said that they referred to it as a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. And after a likely unpleasant search of the landfill, they determined that Sebastian was almost certainly not there. And then, as foreshadowed by the deputy chief's comments on the 3rd, Barris also reported that authorities appear to be moving forward with a possible criminal investigation, though they had named no suspects. A few days later, on the 10th of March, the case gained a little bit of drama when Sebastian Rogers' father, Seth, went on Elizabeth Vargas Reports to express some of his confusion and frustration over how the case was going. He told Vargas it doesn't make a lot of sense. His shoes were at the front door, his Nintendo Switch was there, his phone was in the kitchen. I still can't figure it out. I've been looking everywhere handing out flyers. In addition to that, he was also perplexed by the fact that Sebastian's shoes were still in the home, because as he could recall it, Sebastian did not like being barefoot at all. As you might be aware, many people on the autism spectrum struggle with certain sensory issues. A lot of the time, certain things can be overstimulating, overwhelming, and textures are often one of those triggers. You might not like the way something feels in your mouth or on your hands, or in this case, on your bare feet. What seemed to upset Seth the most, however, was an apparent lack of communication from the Proudfoots, who he said had not spoken to him in over 2 weeks and also had yet to make any public appearances. The Proudfoots made no response to this, but a TBI press release quoted by WKRN insisted that they had remained cooperative since the search began. The statement also said that there are little clues to indicate what happened to Sebastian or where he may be, and that while foul play hadn't been ruled out, it also had yet to be proven. One very helpful aspect of this specific WKRN article is a Q&A section presented by the TBI, where they took some of the common questions they were getting from media, from individuals, and just gave a list of written statements on them. The first question offered was the most simple, which was, which areas have been searched? And the TBI responded, within the first several days of the search, more than 2,000 miles were searched on foot. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again. Law enforcement officers have searched the neighborhood, surrounding neighborhoods, schools, and many other areas of the county by foot. Bloodhounds and handlers have searched the same areas. There have been aerial searches with helicopter, drones, and a fixed-wing plane. These aerial searches...
Those neighborhoods that they were able to get permission from. There's a lot of people that don't want you looking on their property. Don't go by this area because this guy don't want nobody even close to his property. Be careful. It happens. So when he says that they searched here and searched, yes, they searched the areas that they were able to get permission. Doesn't mean everybody was given it, y'all.
Written statements on them. The first question offered was the most simple, which was, which areas have been searched? And the TBI responded, within the first several days of the search, more than 2,000 miles were searched on foot. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again. Law enforcement officers have searched the neighborhood, surrounding neighborhoods, schools, and many other areas of the county by foot. Bloodhounds and handlers have searched the same areas. There have been aerial searches with helicopter, drones, and a fixed-wing plane. These aerial searches have been conducted on multiple days and multiple nights using thermal imaging technology. Sebastian's residence, the yard, the house, and the vehicles have all been searched multiple times. The neighborhood where Sebastian lives has been canvassed.
Right. And you know what? The areas that they had to use the drones were areas where they probably didn't get permission. And the person didn't know that they were flying the drone over it. You can only get so far when you... I mean, come on. Do you think that you're going to see flying a drone through this? Do you think you're going to see somebody laying there? Flying a drone over this, do you think if somebody's wearing all black on top of that, do you think? Sometimes you have to get on the property, you know? Because looking at it from above, I'll show you up above. Let me pull it up. So I'm going to pull up the area that you're seeing right now, okay? The area that you're seeing right now, this is what it looks like from up above. The area that you're seeing right here, this is what it looks like from up above. I'd like to know what neighbors allowed the search.
Neighbors' houses have been searched. Sebastian is autistic and his family says he is drawn to water. Pools in the neighborhood were searched. Dive teams were brought in and bodies of water around the neighborhood and beyond that area were searched, including caves. I don't think the TBI is going to be winning a Pulitzer for the beauty of their writing here, but they did answer the question in full. The next question related to surveillance and what steps were being taken to look into household, business, and cell phone videos. And the TBI answered, many neighbors and businesses have provided video from home and business surveillance systems. We are grateful for that cooperation. The video has been collected and from the beginning of the investigation has been analyzed and enhanced where possible by tech experts and with the TBI, FBI, and Secret Service. So keep that in mind. That's 2 different federal agencies that have now reviewed this footage. To date, nothing gathered from these video systems has been determined to be significant. We do caution that some surveillance video being shared in the public may have been misinterpreted or misidentified or not shown in its entirety. Now, I do want to take a break really quick. I'm not sure what they're referring to here. A video did come out. It was publicly addressed by Nick Barris on, I want to say it was the 14th, where he said that this appears to look out the back of a residence that backs up basically to the Stafford Court residence, and that it was seeing across a common area, but I can't tell what the common area was. Also, that report came out 4 days after this statement. So I'm not sure if that's what they were talking about, and the news report was just, out of line with what the police were saying, or if this was a different video. But the police go on, or the TBI, I should say, go on to say it has been determined that it does not hold any evidentiary significance to the investigation. I also do want to say I'm going to be looking into that Nick Barris video a little bit more and doing some more analysis of where it factors into the whole story and what.
And we'll be doing more of the security cam breakdown. When we're done doing that, then we're going to bring in the dispatch and then get to Nick Barris's video. And we're going to break it all down with the footage that I took just a few weeks after. That's the footage that we're using. I do have some new footage if you're a member. I do have some new footage uploaded for you of the neighborhood and what it looks like right now. But any of the security stuff that we're working on, we use the footage from just a few weeks after he went missing.
What it might possibly show in the part 2 of this video, which should come out next week. The TBI statement, however, goes on to say numerous searches have been executed, cell phone data has been analyzed, and any other available digital evidence has been collected, searched, and documented. Information was collected.
We do have previous lives where we already start to go over it. If you're bored and you want to check them out after the show, definitely go look at our live section. You can see under the live section where we are breaking down the security cam footage of the neighborhood. Check it out. We've already had a couple shows on it, and we'll be doing another one here, I think, tomorrow.
Collected from Sebastian's gaming system and has been analyzed, which I think, is them considering the possibility that he had been having online communication with somebody who then tried to lure him out of the home over the Nintendo Switch, I guess. They go on to say, with help from the FBI, vehicles that were placed in the area at or around the time Sebastian's disappearance have been accounted for. These videos and all the electronic evidence that has already been reviewed is also being reinvestigated. And finally, they gave an answer to the questions of what's going on now and what is next. And they said the search for Sebastian has not stopped. Every day, tips and leads are investigated. People are being interviewed and re-interviewed. Evidence that has been reviewed once already is being gone over again. We'll admit this does begin to sound a little bit like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We continue to ask residents in the area of the search to keep an eye on your property to see if anything may have been moved or displaced. Is this a place where a child could have hidden? If you have property that has ledges or holes that a teenager might find interesting and you can't search it for yourself, please contact the tip line and we can have someone check it out for you. If you know Sebastian and have information about him, what he likes, how he acts, that you think could be relevant, let us know. So as you can see, while the search was certainly extensive and the involved parties should be commended for their efforts, nothing new was turning up. The fact remained that they had no leads and therefore no way to proceed. Seth, however, did not give up the hunt and was checking on every tip he received, telling WKRN, I've been all around Nashville, I've been passing out flyers, it's time to start branching out farther. I just want to find my son. That same March 22nd articles reported that Seth, acting on a tip, had organized a search of Natchez and Trace National Park, which took the search over 100 miles from where it had started. And based on videos posted to X, it seems that this search was pretty loose and unorganized, them just walking around the park calling out for Sebastian. And as for the tip itself, whatever the source was, it was not present in the article. And the fact that Seth was willing to look so far away prompted other questions about his thoughts. Asked if he thought that Sebastian had left voluntarily, he said, I don't know what to believe. All I know is he disappeared out of his mother's house, and it's my job to find him and bring him home. This was a task in which he was not alone, as WSMV reported on the 23rd that the United Cajun Navy had joined the effort after ceasing their search for Riley Strain in Nashville. I do have a couple of updates on that case, as I said, but those are going to wait until the end. News Nation reported that David Flagg...
And we will be having a Riley Strain show coming up where I show you a whole bunch of footage. We're just going to have a footage show of Riley Strain coming up here. Not sure what's up. Still waiting on this other tier to unlock. And once we get that, it's going to be floodgates with the 90% of footage that I do not publish. Like I said, you're just going to see file names, and you let me know if we should share it.
The incident commander for the United Cajun Navy said it was Seth Rogers who had requested their assistance. And speaking to the media, he said, first and foremost, we'd like to see Sebastian found safe and sound. I think that's everybody's hope. And
232. Thank you, Troopers.
We're just people helping people. We have a lot of different skill sets in a lot of different areas, and I think our biggest thing is our dedication. And as all of this was going on, the Proudfoots began making public appearances and public statements to the media. And to be quite frank, as I said at the beginning of this video, I did not have the time to go through all of it yet. There are inconsistent stories about the night of the disappearance, there's odd body language during interviews, there's old court documents, there are even accusations of abuse or negligence flying in both directions. I've only really scratched the surface of the strangeness of it all, and while going over what I have learned so far would certainly be an interesting segment for the video, I don't think it's the right thing to do. This is an active, ongoing case involving a missing child, and I want to be absolutely positive that I have my facts straight before I present you with any more information. I will tell you, you will not need to wait long for part 2. I am writing the follow-up to this episode this week. Sebastian could still be out there, he could still be alive, and our best chance at this point of bringing him home safe is awareness, is spreading the word. So that means this is going to be a 2-part video, and that means that if I feel like I haven't been able to tell the whole story in 2 parts, there will be a part 3. My hope is that between our coverage of this case and with people like Brace and Cyrus pushing for more awareness, we will be able to get this back into the mainstream news, back into the public consciousness, and hopefully we can bring Sebastian home, or at the very least, bring some closure to his family. That right there is the most important part of all of this, is if Sebastian can come home, let's do everything we can to make that happen. And what I can say for certain is that if you thought that the stuff I told you about in this episode was weird, buckle up. Now, all of that said, it does feel a little weird to say on the bright side, but going back to Nashville meant that I could revisit the Riley Strain case briefly. And since we first covered that back in March, there have been several significant updates. Most importantly, since we put our video out, the toxicology and autopsy reports have come in, and I'm a little bit perplexed by the results.
All right, we're going to go ahead and skip that. Like I said, we did some deep investigating over there, also searching. I'm going to show you guys the footage, the GoPro, and all of the other stuff that we did. I even retraced his steps and showed you exactly the route. I even went deeper than that. I showed you where he was heading to at that time of night too, and it is definitely sketch.
It would be bad for tourism if people knew that someone was throwing tourists in the river. Can we make it look like an accident? I mean, let's be real. We all know how we would like for police departments to work, but they don't. They don't work like that. There are good cops. There's also bad ones. And unfortunately, all of them are under the thumb of politicians who are very rarely good people. I mean, left, right, red, blue, it doesn't really matter. The people getting into office usually aren't doing it, the straightforward way. So for those reasons, especially when you look at the tourism issue and the possibility of politics meddling in investigation here, until these questions are firmly answered, how can you be in rigor mortis after 14 days? Why aren't you showing us that surveillance video? Things like that. I'm going to remain skeptical of this case. And when I look at Sebastian Rogers, there's a whole bunch of stuff I'm skeptical about too, but in different ways and for different reasons. And because of how delicate this situation is, how many real living people's lives could be impacted by reporting on it, I want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. And that's why I refrained from going into anything that really happened after March 23rd in this video. Because there were things that happened, there are things I didn't cover in this video. For example, there's the video that Nick Barris reported on the 14th, where it shows what appears to be 2 flashlights in the backyard across a common area from a house adjacent to Riley's. But not long after that, it was confirmed that they don't think that's related to this case. I'd like to know why they don't think it was related. But while most of the intrigue with Strain was regarding, are the police being honest, most of my concerns with Sebastian Rogers are not about the police. It's about other people involved in his life and the things they're saying about each other and the things they're saying about him that really complicate all of it. So when I come back to this next week, what I'm hoping to be able to give you is a full accounting of what everyone involved in this story has said, and any contradictions in their own accounts, any contradictions in each other's accounts.
We actually, when we were down there, if you go watch my live on location searches, we had so many community members reaching out to us while I was on, telling us their stories, telling us their fears, saying people need to know these things. They can't just come here and think that they're safe. Screaming out saying, you know what? This is too much. We've had enough. We need to tell everyone. Trust me, those searches, it wasn't just searching for him too. There's a lot of community that was reaching out to me, crying for their stories to be heard. And bless that family too. They were so supportive of us being out there. And I can't think, man, that's that family right there. made you feel so special. And I just want to say shout out to Riley's family because we were out there every day. We were within feet from one another for days upon end. They knew how hard we worked. Shout out to them too.
Anything where maybe there's a conflict, maybe their statements are adversarial. I just want to go through all the information and present it to you guys so that, I'm going to draw my own conclusion, of course, but so that we can all kind of look at it and maybe have more than one brain on it. I feel like to a certain extent, we're crowdsourcing investigative work, which is kind of cool, I think. But anyway, my point is to say that the next video on this subject is going to be very complicated, very convoluted, and in my opinion, very interesting to say the least. With all of that said, if you would like to support what we do here at the Lore Lodge, you can do so by subscribing to our Patreon.
Okay. And we'll go ahead and we'll get into the part 2 coming up. There's 3 parts to it. I just wanted to kind of show that because it kind of leads you into the other ones too. I don't know. It just there's just if we could just have one direction, one sign. You leave your phone. You didn't walk out of there by yourself. You leave your phone. You didn't walk out of there by yourself. You know what happens when you take phones away from kids? They spaz the F out. You're not leaving without your phone. I think I might go hang out at the lounge tonight. I might just get some rest though. Still kind of exhausted. Got a lot of work coming up here for Micah. We'll be back doing more some hellacious searches coming up here for Sebastian here in a short period of time as well. We gotta go get the work done for the community out for Micah Miller as well. So we're gonna be heading back out there. We'll probably do an on the road show because I don't even know what path I have to take right now because the path between me and Myrtle Beach, the exact interstate change from 26 to 40 was the exact interstate change that I would have to take and the exact route that I would have to take and all of that stuff that took place with the hurricane. It's going to be interesting trying to figure out that path or, hopefully, we'll see what we come into. Becoming a dangerous situation out there for the searches for the hurricanes. They have been asking for people to kind of stay back. It's getting to a situation right now where they already have a lot of people that they have to save already. And with the resources that are basically non-existent, whether it's food, water, or gas, for hours away from the location, what's happening is, and this is why they're asking people to kind of, you hear a lot of things about them threatening people with apprehensions and stuff like that, and it's because they already have a tremendous amount of victims out there that are already not being able to be found, and now they're having an overload of people that are going there to help becoming victims because there are no resources out there. So it was one of those things where they were like telling people this weekend, um, we appreciate you, but please, just stay back for the time being. Because I think they were getting, there's a lot of people going out there that are just trying to help. And unfortunately, they're becoming victims along with the other victims that were already there. And the Red Cross and these other organizations are already having a hard time as it is already trying to locate. I mean, you still hear the toll keeps going up, and there's more people coming out that still haven't been home. Um, and so, I mean, you got to think about it. The destruction that took place was a huge area. And when you look at all the access points that are cut off, yeah, there's still people trapped. Yeah, I just saw somebody had just finally got cell connection thanks to Starlink. They finally got cell connection and they were able to tweet somebody that they were stranded on the top of the mountain because all the roads had washed away and they didn't know what to do. And they even were able to give their GPS coordinates. And that's what I'm saying. The resources alone, if you want gas, food, or water, you're talking 2 or 3 hours away. And now those supplies are starting to dry up as well. And so, uh, as much as we all want to try and help, sometimes you have to, if you got it, you have to be in a position to help yourself first before you can help somebody else. You got to be in a position where you can drink your water, eat your food, and have fuel for what you need to do. And there's a lot of people that are going out there that unfortunately they're finding out that the resources are really far and few between. And if you don't have a huge like a Red Cross or something like that, um, then you end up being stranded yourself. And so it's a very dangerous situation out there. It is crazy that it's the first time we've ever heard where they said, ask people not to. But when you look at how catastrophic it was, um, how there's still things coming out, you know, tolls and new updates, and more missing people or missing, there's a lot of stuff going on, and the those agencies can only handle so much. They can only handle so much, and right now you see them all being pushed to the max. And the last thing that they want people to do is become a victim because you can help right here. You know what I mean? And so, did I want to go out there? Yes, I do. Um, do I have the resources to be able to be in a position where I could sustain resources? No, I don't. If I had, like some major backing from a huge company or something, sure. But this is a situation where, um, if I did go to try, I could easily become another victim. Um, because I'm not really. You got to, like I said, you got to take care of you to be able to help other people. And I don't know if I'd be able to take care of me out there just because, uh, it's not like you can just drive 20 minutes down a street that is existing and be able to get food and water and fill up your tank and then go back out and do some more. It's not that way. And so there's certain organizations that have the proper training for that kind of environment. They have the proper vehicles for that environment. They have you know, the proper resources to be able, uh, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to help. We're not trying to become a hindrance. And so It could easily be one of those things where we go out there, we go to help, and then all of a sudden we don't have any resources. We're stuck, and then all of a sudden you never hear from us again. You know what I mean? It's heartbreaking. It really is because everything that we do, we really do try to help, but at the same time, we are very small fish, and we sometimes our limits can only go as far as the resources are. And when it comes to the proper vehicles, the proper resources, um, the proper way to even handle something like that. Um, Special prayers, trust me. It's one of those moments where I'm going to be there in spirit um, uh, because of that. You have to rely on these bigger organizations to handle something as catastrophic as this. Uh, you're talking missing roads, uh, missing land. It's a lot. So you have to be safe. Yeah, can be gone in a millisecond. And it's crazy, Yoli, because where that road fell apart. You guys can go back if you go to any of my on the road lives from when we would travel and back uh, back home to Myrtle Beach, back and forth. If you go to any of those, if you go to the parts of my drives where we're going like this, we're going, "Whoa," we're kind of doing this thing where we're going left and right, and it's curving left and right. That's the same area that everything fell apart, you guys. If you guys were on my road trips and I'm like, man, what a beautiful sight seeing these mountains in the background. And there's like a little river that goes along the interstate. That little river, when you see that big rush of water coming through and it's taking that part of the interstate, ripping it, how it falls apart. You see that big, you guys know what video I'm talking about. That's right there, you guys. That little the interstate actually followed the river in that area, and it's crazy to sit there and go, "Wow." For 3 months, I drove that interstate 2 times a week for 3 months, and I'll never get to for a long time. I literally at Asheville is where I would have to change from 26 to 40. Right there. The exact route I would have to take. It's sad. I went to those stores. I went to the Wendy's. I went to the gas stations. I would pull over in Nashville to chill for a little bit, you know? It was right where the interstate changed. It was a quick, easy off, get something to eat, or take a nap or just take a break for a little bit. Trust me, I'm not from there, but Asheville has a special place in my heart because all the times that I stopped there on those trips 2 times a week for 3 months there, and that beautiful scenery. We'll just have to help in spirit for this one. Thank you so much, guys. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We'll be back in about a week or so. We'll be doing some really effective searching coming back from that. And then we got a lot of work to do in Myrtle Beach for Micah's case. So I think I'm going to have you guys go on a journey with me on the road when we're heading out there. Because honestly, you guys, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to be running into, y'all. I really don't. But I do need to make it back out. to Myrtle Beach for a few days. And shout out to their community. They've been asking and begging me, and I'm going to come back. I miss them all. We'll be back for a little bit. We got a lot of work to do. JP, I wanna sit down and have a conversation, JP. Let's have it at the church. Let's have it at 8 o'clock on a weeknight. Let's sit down in some lawn chairs and let's just have a casual conversation. Oh yeah, it's an even longer drive now, Busby. It was anywhere from 13 to 15 hours with that route. Now I have another hour and a half, possibly who knows how much more added on to that route. It's definitely going to be a long drive. Trust me. Definitely going to be a long drive. But it needs done. Yes. JP. I'd like to have a talk. All right, everybody. Thank you so much again. I'm probably going to be going to the lounge tonight and having some comedy and coffee. But if I don't, because I'm going to eat something first, and then kind of go from there on if I'm going to go to sleep or if I'm going to hang out for a little bit. But if I don't go over there, if I'm not live tonight, definitely check out last night's show. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it, you guys? Anybody that was in the lounge last night? That was good fun. I appreciate you guys. I might see you in a little bit over there. I might not, but I'll definitely see you tomorrow. We got a lot more work to do. Have a peaceful, positive evening. Thank you so much. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. And if you're not subscribed, please consider so. I'll definitely see you tomorrow, but I'm kind of feeling some comedy tonight, though. I'm starving, though. Good night, everybody.
Seven, 4, 6.